Hello, hello. Are we good? Are we good? Are we good? Sorry. I wasn't muted. I don't know. My mic input must have reset, I guess, from what happened. And let me know if you guys can hear me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. God damn it. I'm sorry. All right. So let me know if you can hear me, by the way. So interesting enough, okay. We're done with the. We're done with the. We're good. Okay. We're done with the conference championships now. We're gonna have the Super Bowl in a couple weeks. Obviously. Now there's an echo. Really? How's there an echo?
All right, we're good. We're good now. Okay, sorry. I don't know what happened. This shit, I don't know. Sometimes like things just reset on this, and like I have to like redo the settings. But we should be good now. I'm sorry. This didn't mean to happen. But we're going. This is a Super Bowl we didn't really want to watch. Unfortunately, and I think we're good now. I don't think there's an echo anymore because I don't see anything running. Okay, good. Okay. Sorry. All right, for the millionth time, it's a Super Bowl we don't want to watch. I get it. I don't know. It's really tough for me because I don't really like Patrick Mahomes. I don't really like the Kansas City Chiefs for a lot of reasons. But I'm going to tell you right now, like I think we just want the 49ers to lose, and I think that's where we're going right now. I got to say, this coaching staff, and I want to hear from you guys. Like, have you liked some of the hirings? Even today, which was a really good one that I really did like, even this new defensive line coach in Hurt, which is really good. New corner coach that's been doing good. That's coached good Pro Bowlers. Here, let me. I'm trying to do this the right way here because that's not going to work. All right, so that's not working. I don't know why, but it's not working. It's all right. Getting a new defensive line coach, new cornerbacks coach. That's coached up a lot of guys from Alabama, especially recruited McKinstry. Recruited a couple guys over there, a couple of good cornerbacks. Has turned cornerbacks into Pro Bowlers, and Xavier McKinney might be a big free agent that they might acquire from the Giants, just because who knows? With Carl Scott being here, I think that's going to be a really big signing at cornerback, and I really do like it. I know a lot of people are down on the Kellen Moore stuff that's going on. I get it. But Vic Fangio, I don't really like the scheme that much, but I feel like he's hiring the right guys. I mean, we might have Mike Caldwell, linebackers coach, really soon. And look what he turned Levante David and Devin White into, at least when he was there. He did a really good job with linebackers. It looks like it's not going to be Joe Barry. It looks like Mike Caldwell is in the lead for the linebacker coaching spot. And other than that, I mean, they don't have a QB coach yet. They still probably need to hire a couple of assistants, but I feel really good. I feel like, we haven't really even touched the surface on this roster yet, and a lot of things are going to happen within the next few weeks. So I think we're going in a good direction here. But I want to hear from you guys just in general. I'm only going to be on for an hour today, so I'm not going to go crazy today. I'm not going to do like a 2-hour stream today because I have a lot more videos and stuff to put out for tomorrow. So I'm usually up late night doing a lot of stuff. Chris says most awkward Super Bowl to root for since 2007's Giants and Patriots. Yeah, that's definite. Carlos Melissa says, Joey, what do you think about the new coaching staff? I think it's been pretty good. I think the one word, and I said this on Twitter, I said the one word that I see every time they hire somebody, it's experience. They're getting highly experienced coaching. They're not getting young guys that are good friends with Nick, or they're not getting young guys that are coming here, that have only been in the league for a couple years, have, They're just bringing in more experience and guys that are really going to ramp up this roster at certain positions, whether it's a positional coach or getting Kellen Moore and getting, Vic Fangio, top of the crop when it comes to, this Fangio defense that we've been running the last few years, but we get the main guy to run it. And now the next step is getting the players that are going to complement the schemes. And I feel like there's going to be a lot of changes made with this roster. We haven't even touched the surface of that yet, and hopefully we will soon. You know what I mean? James says, I like them all. Even if they're average, they're an upgrade over last year's coordinators. I said all year, if we have at least competent coordinators at the minimum, last year we're in the Super Bowl. Yeah, I get it, dude. I mean, 10-1 and you're 2 games up in the conference and you just choke it away. You choke away the first seed. You choke away the second seed. You choke away the division. And then, nothing changed. You know why everything did not change? Nothing changed at this point because no one took over for Nick. No one can take over for Nick. There wasn't any experienced coaches on this roster that would take over. I mean, at least with Matt Patricia, I guess we somewhat figured, maybe he would have made the defense somewhat better, but they weren't changing the defense overnight. You don't change a defense mid-season. You don't change an offense mid-season, but you're going to have to tweak some things. And they didn't make any adjustments for the last 7 weeks. They didn't make any adjustments the whole season, to be honest with you. I mean, the Eagles have never had a dominating performance, a 4-quarter dominating performance. I'm not saying it had to be perfect, but we haven't had one of those at all. And it's a little concerning. So a lot of changes had to be made. I don't think Nick has any type of control. At all. Maybe a little bit, but not like what he had last year. He didn't hire his own staff. Okay, this was a collaborative effort with Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman, no doubt. So, it is what it is. King of Philly says, I think we drafting Alabama corner. Yeah, so the new cornerback coach, you have Kool-Aid McKinstry coming out of Alabama. You have I think the other guy, I forgot his name. What was it? It was who's the other corner for Alabama? I forgot his damn name. That is yeah. You have where the hell is it? I just had it. Terrion Arnold. Two guys that Carl Scott has coached. And interesting enough, could have a lot of say going to this draft. Who knows? You know what I mean? This gives us a better opportunity in getting probably a number 1 corner in the draft that could team up with Slay for the year. I don't think they're getting rid of Slay. That's just me. I mean, Bradbury, I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens. But should be interesting. There'll be a lot of guys on the board for us and see how much they actually continue to get these coaches. They're going to have a little bit of collaborative say in who we draft, and that would be great. Or Teron Arnold. Sorry, I get his name wrong. I had his name in my head and I totally forgot it. So I'm pretty pumped for it. James says, let's see here. Hold on one second. Jason, if I say if we can get signed Queen or White and draft cornerbacks early and safety and running back late, we'll be good in hands next year. Yeah, I feel like they have to. I feel like they're going to, within the first 3 picks, I don't know where they're going to go offensive line wise. You always got to draft a trench guy. I mean, they could go defensive end the first 3 picks. They could go, you have a first and 2 seconds. So they could go, I don't know, they could get a backup right tackle for the future. I mean, they definitely need to get they definitely are going to get some type of trench guy. As much as I want to sign a safety, a linebacker, it really depends what they do in free agency and depending on how much money they do save, because they have a pretty good outing of saving north of $50 million in cap space. And pretty much all that money that's saved is going to go straight to the defense. Pretty much. So offensively, you really don't need much. You need some backup trench. You need a running back. You need, you need a wide receiver 3, which there are plenty of them in the draft as well. Eagles can go get a guy. I think they really have to upgrade that wide receiver 3 position. Not get a guy that's okay. You need like someone, like Amon Brown from the Lions, like something like that. Put him on the inside and just rip the middle of the field. on some crossers, man. That's what I've been, and I think that's what Kellen Moore is gonna. I'm telling you, Kellen Moore is gonna do. I feel he's gonna do a really good job. I feel like our offense is gonna be night and day. I understand like everybody's worried about the run game so much, but he loves putting these wide receivers in the passing game. Hence why Eichler has. I think he had over 500 yards receiving this year, 400 to 500 yards receiving. I had the numbers up from last video. A lot more receptions than, obviously DeAndre Swift had, but obviously only had 628 yards, something like that for the season. So they really like using Kellen Moore is interesting because he really likes, the pre-snap motion. The pre-snap motion, he's top 10 in the league when it comes to pre-snap motion last year. And he did a really good job of it. You had a Chargers team that, a bad head coach in Brandon Staley. Herbert was hurt later in the season. Keenan Allen is getting up there in age. They really don't have too many weapons offensively. The offensive line is not as good. So there's a lot that, Kellen Moore's got to deal with over there. And I've seen a few games where Justin Herbert was overthrowing wide open guys. Could have won a lot of games, so it's interesting. And I think he's going to really take our passing game to the next level. You look at the route charts and where these receivers are when it comes to being with the Cowboys with CeeDee Lamb. If you look at the route tree there and some of the route concepts and stuff like that, even at the time when you had CeeDee Lamb and had a really good, wide receiver core at the time, the Cowboys, as much as I hate to say it, they were top 10 3 years with Kellen Moore. I think 1 year they were, outside the top 10 at 16 or something like that. But I feel really good. I don't know what the run game is going to be, but I think this is going to be the best roster that Kellen Moore has ever coached. Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, you don't get that with a lot of teams, and Kellen Moore has his hands all over it, crossers, and oh my God, likes to get these wide receivers deep, likes quick passes, especially. He's one of the top teams in red zone, especially. He's very good in red zone too. Everything's quick at the line. I've seen a fake handoff, quick pass. Easily. There's been a lot of times even this year where it hurts. The handoffs take too long to develop. The wide receiver, the route concepts are just take way too long. By the time Jalen Hurts is outside the pocket, tries to find somebody wide open, there's nobody there. So it's kind of crazy. Eric Stewart, I actually like Kellen Moore. I think there's some people opening up to it. I'm excited to see what happens. Look, I don't know if this is going to be a failed concept, but I honestly don't know, how successful this is going to be. It can't be any worse than last year. And you got an upcoming pretty good play caller that knows how to scheme very well every single week, knows who you're going up against, not just going to line you up and put you in a failed scheme. And I think all these players, all the positions have been flawed because of these schemes. And, when you're not changing and making adjustments, shame on Nick Sirianni. I think Nick Sirianni is 100% on the hot seat, no doubt. So Ziggy says people don't want to let it play out, trying to rush him out, stupid. Let's see here. DK says, why does everyone hate us? We are the good guys. Cam Philly said, Bradbury might be gone, in my opinion. You might be right. There's no way. Everyone's making a big deal out of this new contract that Bradbury got, okay? This contract is not going to do much of anything. All they have to do is just spread out that contract, extend him for a couple years, spread out the contract. That's all they really have to do. Once they do that, it's just... you spread out that dead cap for a few years and you're perfectly fine. It's not going to be much as everyone thinks it's going to be, Let's see. Richie MC says Jurgens is an unknown guy. Can he be healthy enough and can he play center? Eagles passed on 2 Pro Bowl centers, Tyler Linderbaum and Creed Humphrey. Yeah. Last offseason, he did play center in the offseason when Jason Kelce had that orthoscopic surgery in his elbow to get his elbow cleaned up. And he was out, and he was supposed to play next to Kelce as a guard for a while, but actually played a lot at center during the offseason. I think they switch him back and forth. I think he's when it comes to second team, I think he's always playing center, even at practice when he's not starting at that position, but they'll start him at right guard. And then with the second team offense, he'll probably play center and get double the snaps because they know that he is the future. I mean, who knows? This could turn into a Landon Dickerson situation where they're going to keep him at right guard and say, we need to find another center because he's too good at right guard. I don't think Cam Jurgens has been bad. I think the protection wasn't that great at the end of the year, but when you're losing games, the mentality I think everything is just falling on a lot of these players, and it's hard to concentrate and it's hard to get better when your coaches aren't helping you. I mean, these players were pretty much had a cry for help, so I'm hope so. Marisol said, I think Goddard might be a monster, more like his tight ends. I'm just foaming at the mouth for the season my guy about to have. You're already ready, dude. I've been seeing your posts up on Twitter, a lot of Kellen Moore stuff and how he uses the wide receivers, the tight ends. I mean, yes. I mean, we don't even have a number 2 tight end right now, and that's and obviously that's it's just to a point now where you have to really put the coaching aspect into things and not follow one guy's I guess vision of this offense or defense. We have to put it to these we have to put it to these coordinators, give them all the control and do the thing. So you know what I mean? But we don't have a tight end 2 right now. It kind of sucks. I wish we had a little bit more than what we have now. We haven't even found out you traded for Albert O and did nothing with him. Crazy. Kellen Moore came from Jason Garrett tree. No, he didn't come from a Jason Garrett tree. Where is that news that Kellen Moore has done his own thing? Kellen Moore is not the reason why the Cowboys didn't win a playoff game. It's Dak Prescott. What is the same problem the Cowboys are having right now? It's truly and honestly. I mean, first you blame 2 coordinators. You blame Scott Linehan. You blame Kellen Moore. And then McCarthy had him, I think, on the first year he was here. And now McCarthy's the problem. As soon as they started losing games and they started losing in the playoffs, they started blaming the coordinator more than the actual fucking quarterback. And that's just the truth, Mayor says, do the Eagles bring in Dalton Schultz? He has more connection to a tight end too. Yeah, well, I mean, he had a pretty good year this year, didn't he? I mean, he might cost a little bit of money as a backup. Is he even? I mean, what was his contract with the Texans? Because it had to have been somewhat of a a long-term deal, wasn't it? Frankie says Joey has a Taylor Swift poster next to Michael Myers poster. I do not. There's no Taylor Swift in my house. Definitely not. Perry says, are they re-signing DeAndre Swift? I really hope so. I know you have Josh Jacobs. I mean, you have Gibson from Washington. He's a free agent. Saquon Barkley. There's a few, Devin Singletary. I mean, there's a bunch of guys that are free agents. But if I'm to bring someone back, if I was to sign somebody other than Swift, I'd sign Gibson in a heartbeat because I think he blocks really well. He's almost like a wide receiver out there too. So I think he's real shifty. I think he would fit in well with this offense. But Swift, I'm not a big fan of the pass protection too much with him. But as to running the football and what he could just do, just the skill set he has, he could turn on a dime going 100%. He should have been the second best back in the league. Should have had over 1,300 yards this year. It's almost a crime that he just hit 1,000 yards, second to last game of the season. I think they should re-sign him. I do. I really do. I think his number is 5.2 million. I think it's 5.2 million or something, which isn't that bad. I think that's cheaper than Miles Sanders. I think that when he signed with the Panthers, it's really not that bad. I think it's very affordable. And I think big money is going to be spent at linebacker for the first time. I think the Eagles are going to go out there and spend big money on one guy. Whether it's going to be safety, it's going to be linebacker. It's going to be one of those 2 positions. The one that they don't sign at big money is going to be in the draft, most likely. And they're not signing a corner to big money. They're not signing Janarius Sneed, so don't think they're signing him. They're not going down that hole of paying cornerbacks that much money. It's definitely not going to happen. I think they're going to go after Patrick Queen. I think Andrew Van Ginkel from Miami. I think he's going to make a lot of money this year. So we'll see. We'll see. Bridgie says, has Jalen Hurts in the pros or even in college played under center, or will Kellen Moore keep him? Kellen Moore is going to do a mix. Kellen Moore is going to put him under center. They pass under center and they run under center. Jalen Hurts only ran the ball under center 20 times. 20 times. I think I have this. I don't have it on here. I actually have the statistics on how much does he pass from under center and how much he runs from under center. I know the Eagles under center only ran him 20 times. It wasn't much. VP, what's going on, man? Say, hey, Joey Dan, bro. Just got some news about a tight-lipped deployment. Sounds serious. Prayers for us. Much needed. Anyways, I like the hirings the birds are making so far. We'll keep you updated. Peace. Dude, VP, be safe out there with your brothers and sisters, man. And make it back safe. And much respect to you and what you do. Do not take it for granted, because these are the people that give us our freedoms in everyday life to sit on the computer and do this stuff and do anything in life. So VP, definitely hit me up, man. And good luck to everything out there. Reggie says, will he, the linebacker, be over 30? Oh, remember that moment Purdy getting injured, the Niners pitching? Thinks the Niners are going to win the Super Bowl. Let's see here. Dongy Butter says, Joey, I would sign a high-end linebacker for 3 years and a middle-of-the-road linebacker for 1 year to compete with Nakobe Dean. So, what if they sign Patrick Queen or Andrew Van Ginkel and then kind of maybe pair him up with maybe a guy like Devin White, maybe. Devin White maybe have fallen off. I don't know. But if you sign Mike Caldwell to linebacker, he's the one that produced Levante David and produced Devin White when they were drafted. So it's another guy. If Mike Caldwell gets that job, there could be a really good connection for Devin White to come to the Philadelphia Eagles as a prove-it, type of competition signing. If that's what they want to do, Bars, the Eagles are my team, but I'm rooting for the Niners and Super Bowl all the way. Oh, man. How the fuck can you... How can you? Why? Ian Philly says, how he feel disrespected and commented that he heard the rumors of the Eagles don't value linebackers. Huge priority. Oh, no. I mean, yeah, I think that press conference, when that rumor came out, and I'm glad it got to Howie, and he looked totally disrespected over that, which is telling me they're definitely going to make a move here. They're definitely going to make some type of move. I hope it happens. I hope it does. We got a super chat from Carlos Rosado. What's going on, bro? He said, Shake, salute. I'm liking these coaching staff signings, and Clint Hunt is very good. I can't wait to see who we go after in free agency and do in the draft. It makes it more exciting. Now, Cliff Hunt is interesting because he was the a defensive line coach for Vic Fangio when he was, I think when he was the defensive coordinator in Chicago, where the defensive line was great those 2 years. So I mean, or for the few years that he was there. So I think that's and plus Clint Hunt he's actually coached linebackers as well. I mean, Clint Hunt looks like he could play for us. Take a look at the guy. The guy looks like he could play for us right now. Put him in a uniform, and I think he's already ready to go. But I think that they're bringing so much experience to the coaching staff. This is what we needed so bad. I didn't think we were going to hire guys like this. I honestly had no idea. But it's really showing me that they are really putting their, and not only bringing him, they're bringing the other guy, Clint. They're bringing not Clint, just Clint, but they're bringing Carl, the DB's coach for Seattle. They're bringing him in from, both of them are coming from Seattle, and he's coached up some Pro Bowl. He's coached up some Pro Bowl corners, done a really good job with them. And, he's got good connections to Alabama as well and has good insight on a lot of the players that he was with when he was coaching at Alabama. I think from 2018 to 2020, if I'm right. It's very exciting, man. Very exciting. No doubt, man. Jay Sokol says Devin White and Patrick Queen is what we need. We might. Right, is Nakobe Dean focused on being a great special teams player? That's his ceiling. I mean, I don't know, dude. I'm kind of already down that rabbit hole right now. If Nakobe Dean is not a player for us right now, I want him to surprise me. If he doesn't, it is what it is. They cannot rely on him. They have to give him competition. Don't make anybody on this roster comfortable at their position that they're going to start. I want them to make it as uncomfortable as possible. Hard coaching. We need some assholes on this team. We really do. We need some total dickheads on this team. That's what I think. They need someone that's a ground and pound coach. Pause. But you know what I mean. Well, if someone's spamming, just time them out. Don't block anybody. Just time them out if they're just spamming shit. Ladies, if we go into the 2024 season with Gainwell as a starting running back, Howie Roseman is on the hot seat, Joey. Hashtag re-sign Swift. Don't bring Boston Scott back. I don't want Boston Scott back, but they have to sign somebody. Okay, I know the Eagles' MO is this is where they're changing the philosophy of how they look at certain positions now. Linebacker's not going to be the redheaded stepchild. Running back is not going to be the redheaded stepchild when it comes to, they've drafted early. Miles Sanders was a second-round pick. Kenneth Gainwell was a fifth-round pick and have done pretty well. The offensive line obviously carries these running backs, okay, a lot. We know that Swift has skill, but Kenny G is carried, okay. He's almost as what Wendell Smallwood was, and even Josh Adams when he was here. I put them. Kenneth Gainwell is not doing anything. Every time a running back, a mid-tier or low mid-tier running back leaves this roster, they don't do anything with their careers. Ever. Wendell Smallwood hasn't done anything. Josh Adams hasn't done anything. Miles Sanders is not running behind the same offensive line. He was only averaging 3.5 yards a carry at all. So this is crazy. Eagles were bad all year. Yeah, they weren't playing. They were bad. They were. They didn't play a full. They didn't play a full game, a full 4 quarters of football. You know what I mean? LB and Fitz says with Kellen Moore schemes with the weapons that we have, we could possibly be back in the Super Bowl in this coming up season. Yeah, we'll see what happens, man. I'm not gonna go that far with it, but I feel like if they get a rhythm going, the offseason program needs to change, no doubt. So we'll see what happens. Barson, sorry, Joe, I can't root for the cringy ass Taylor Swift and Taylor Swift is like the last thing on my mind. I can give a shit about Taylor Swift. I'd rather support Travis Kelce at least. I hate Patrick Mahomes. I hate his family, but the 49ers, their fans, what they've been saying since last year, and I kind of want to crush their dreams. I'm Cool Tone says, do you think Howie gonna shake up the draft like he did when we got AJ Brown trade? I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna trade and sign a big time player. You never know. It could happen again, but I don't know if this is gonna be the year for that. I think they do everything within the free agency limits the first couple weeks. And then maybe, in the draft, I think they're just going to go regular and just draft who they draft at their picks. Maybe they move up in the draft a little bit. Who knows? But I don't know if that's the case. We'll see. You're not paying somebody. You're not giving a contract worth $100 million to somebody. That's not going to happen again. But you never know what could happen at that point. So, Ziggy Buffalo, what's going on, man? He says Doug Newsomer might be the QB coach. I have no idea who that is. Stone says Super Bowl bound next year. Don't sound like Jerry Jones and the Cowboys. Ron says, Jake, you were the biggest crybaby. God damn. I am Zay says, I missed the video earlier. I've been sick, but I'm going to watch it right after I watch this one. Keep a good work, Joe. I appreciate it. I am Zay. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. G Money says, Andy Reid will always be our guy. Love Big Red. Yeah, dude. I do, but it pisses me off that he's been this successful. It pisses me off, man. It's what it is, man. Good for him. That's all I could say. I hate that team, but him as a person, I don't mind him. But Chris says it's on 49ers, on 49ers fans. Oh, well, dude, obviously every 49ers so-called 49ers YouTube name is a Cowboy fan. That's who they are. So going on, Ryan? Mingo says, I live in Cali. 49ers are soft as butter. Sean8771 says, Yo, Joey, what if the Commanders turn into the Houston Texans this season? Ben Johnson with Jaden Daniels? It would be a good combination. I mean, we'll see, but that's been the big Achilles heel for Washington. It's been the quarterback position, and they'll have a top 5 pick this year and see what they do. I don't think Sam Howell's the future. I think he flashed a lot this year, but I think under pressure, I think he kind of fell apart a little bit. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I feel like Washington is almost there, but they always take 10 steps back. When I feel like they're taking 5 steps forward, they're taking 10 steps back at the end of every single year, you know? Would have appreciated here winning 1 or 2 years. I mean, he had his chance, but. Mayor says, I think edge is a big need. Bryce Huff from the Jets, 10 sacks, 19 tackles. I think he would be a nice piece to add. He's 25. Yeah, interesting enough, dude. I think they need another edge guy. I think they do badly. And the Fangio defense, you need some edge guys. Even if they are outside linebackers at times, depending on scheme and what they do. You can always have these guys have an outside technique. And I saw what Miami did with their defensive line. I mean, they were getting constant pressure. I mean, Vic Fangio's scheme, man, I mean, even if it's a 3-4 or whatever the case may be, sometimes he moves his linebackers up. Sometimes he's really aggressive. I mean, he was 3rd in pressures this year. I mean, look at what Andrew Van Ginkel did for them in his 5th year. I mean, he only had 6 sacks, but 53 quarterback pressures. That's a lot, dude. That's a lot. That helps out another player on the team to make a play, man. It's kind of nuts. LB and Fitz Transfer, what's going on, man? Says, I'm interested to see how these coordinators are going to turn this team around. I have confidence that it's going to work out. Yeah, I feel really good, man. I feel very confident right now. Like, we haven't even touched the roster yet. We haven't touched our own roster yet. You know, I made a video a few days ago talking about cap space, talking about potential cap casualties. I think Kevin Byard is probably the number one guy that you could free up $14 million with him. And there's a lot of other moves. There's a lot of restructures they could do. There's a lot of different things they can do to get more cap space. I'm not really worried about the cap. I'm not really worried about the contracts because Howie Roseman's good with that. And, the Eagles are they're north of $28 million in cap space right now. Only a little bit over $4 million in dead cap right now. But, I mean, the Eagles never really have that much. The Eagles really never usually have that much cap to begin with. We're usually like in the 10 to 20 range, but they got almost 30 right now, and they can get a lot more. I think they will save more money. I think they have to extend. I think they have to extend Hassan Reddick. I think that's got to happen. I mean, potentially he can be a holdout. I mean, he's got double-digit sacks with the Eagles the last 2 years, man. I mean, this guy just he's our best defensive lineman. I think you have to re-sign him. I think you have to extend him a little bit for a few years and save some money while you're at it. And you know how he's going to save some money in the process. So we'll see. Chad, what's going on? He said, I think KG is going to shine with Kellen Moore. Low key, but don't be shocked. No one can replace Shane, but Kellen is the next best. Both came from the Chargers. And every time the Eagles have got a Chargers ex-coach, they've been pretty damn successful. Okay, first it was Frank Reich coming from the Chargers, successful. Shane Steichen, Chargers, successful. And now Kellen Moore. I think Kellen Moore is going to get this passing game going, man. I'm telling you, you're not going to see just Devontae Smith having a big game. You're going to see everybody having a big game. Not everybody, but I feel like you're going to spread the ball around really well. So we'll see what happens. Aaron says, not saying that Fangio rubbed some the wrong way, but I'm all about his hire, but players talk. You know what? But players are soft now, dude. When players have it too easy, they complain about everything. Or when players nowadays have it so easy, okay, they start to take a step back and they start to decline. And when players are not in a good situation, they don't fight for a better situation. They don't fight to be better. And all they would want to do is get traded or complain the whole time. It's a different league now. Like, these players are a bunch of babies now. So I'm not really getting too much reports on so many people didn't like Desai. I mean, sorry, too many people didn't like Vic Fangio. A lot of players that he coached a while ago, whether it was 6-7 years ago, or even when he was with the San Francisco 49ers, I think from 09 to 12, I forgot a few years he was with them. Like, a lot of players that are retired now have said how they love him as a coach. So, lot of good things to take out of it, man. Ryan says Brian Burns and Devin White possible free agency. Yeah, Brian Burns is definitely on the list, no doubt. No doubt. I kind of wanted them to look at him. I'm kind of interested to see what they do on the edge. And look, they're not going to have a free agency frenzy. They're going to sign one guy to big money, and then they might have like a couple of, like, I'm not saying it's going to be 1-year deals. I don't mind the 1-year deals, but don't make it a whole position at that, at 1-year deals. You know what I mean? They got to, if you feel like the guy could be a long-term player that can win for you and can do better, take a chance, Kirk, what's up? He says, big fan of the Kellen Moore hire. There we go. We're not disagreeing on something for once. No, I looked over a lot when he was hired that night. It was the night of the shakedown on Saturday. And I was saying to myself, you know what? I need to take a look at a lot of stuff that Kellen Moore's done. I mean, everyone's saying that he was horrible with the Chargers, but the Chargers had a lot of injuries, man. And, Keenan Allen's they're pretty much their best weapon. I mean, this might be the best. This might be probably the best roster that Kellen Moore is going to be around as of right now. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, mock drafts will be coming. Yeah, I mean, not now. Probably. I want to get through free agency because it's gonna get really hectic, and I'm gonna be rushing through so much stuff for a month and a half. By the time free agency is over, by the time like the second or third week of free agency is over with, I'm going to start getting into the draft. I'm writing a lot of stuff down now and watching a lot of stuff now. But by that time we'll have all that ready. We have a super chat from Jared Major. What's going on, man? It says, appreciate the super chat. Says, we'd like to see Moore as the head coach. If he does good this year, Sirianni's beyond useless. Yeah, I mean, dude, I don't know. Sirianni's press conference, I did not like it at all. He was going back and forth. Like, first, the coordinators had all the control. Then, it's not the coordinator's offense or defense. It's the Eagles' offense and defense. He was going back and forth on a lot of things. I really didn't like it. Sirianni is looking like more of a cheerleader and a motivational speaker at this point, and I didn't like the message I got from him. It seems like Howie Roseman was really babysitting him, the whole entire time, and it's what it is. But that's the feeling that I kind of got from that. I think he's on the hot seat, no doubt. Especially if the Eagles if the Eagles play the first 4 weeks and they lose 3 of those 4 games, I'm telling you right now, he's going to get fired real early. Ryan said, it feels like Devin White wants to come to Philly. I'm telling you, if Mike Caldwell gets hired as the linebacker coach, there could be a big possibility. Maybe there's a big possibility even if Mike Caldwell's not hired there. Mike Caldwell is the one that produced as the linebackers coach before he became the Jags DC. He was a linebacker coach at the Bucks with Levante David and Devin White. So it should be interesting. Jay says, what do you think of the trade idea float of 2 firsts and a third for Surtain? That's a lot, dude. I don't know. I don't think you need to put out that much for one cornerback. I don't know. I think the Eagles, you don't want to put all your money into free agency. You don't want to spend all your money in free agency. You don't want to make free agency. You don't build your team through free agency. And somewhat you do. You sign a guy to big money because you're not going to cover that spot in the draft, and you think that he's going to be a difference maker for a few years and get you to a championship. But that's a lot. I don't know. The Eagles would have to give up a first round this year and next year. And then if you want a third round pick, whether it's this year or next year, I don't know. I'm not into it because I feel like the Eagles are in good position to get a good corner. Do they want to get their number one guy? If they feel like at 22 they can't get their number one guy, maybe they do it. But the Eagles have 4 compensatory picks. They have a first, a second, a third, a fourth. They have 4 fifths and a 7th. I think that those are their picks for this year. So that's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah. Kool-Aid Ministry is supposed to be the best corner in the draft. That, from what I'm hearing, he's supposed to be the best one out there. So. Karen says, who was your favorite corner in college this year? Bama. DB Kool-Aid was targeted only 39 times this season. And he's probably the top guy I've heard the most, coming out. And, I don't know if the Eagles will be in contention to get him. But usually these draft boards do change over time. It really depends on how many quarterbacks. Obviously, every draft, it really depends on how many quarterbacks are going to get taken in the top 10. That's where it's going to make the difference. So we'll see. Chris says, does Sirianni redeems himself if he goes to the championship game? Probably. D-Mac, this is a good one. Do we keep Kevin Byard? They can extend him and save like $9 million. If they purely cut him post-June, they will save $14 million. He's a big cap casualty. Okay, he's 30 years old. I get it. But Sidney Brown isn't going to be back until next October. I mean, I think Sidney Brown will be a future safety for us. I'm hoping. But he is a big hybrid player for this defense, no doubt. Can't wait for this coaching staff to get their hands on him finally and use him the right way. We'll see what Reed Blankenship does. Depending if they feel Reed is going to be, if they want to use Reed more in the box, depends with him. But I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. There's been a lot of rumors with Xavier McKinney as of right now because our new cornerbacks coach, Carl Scott, coached up Xavier McKinney as well. That could be another guy that they could have a lot of interest in free agency. Xavier McKinney is going to be a free agent, so this might be another big one for the Eagles to get at that spot as well. So we'll see. Hyrex says, hopefully we'll keep Swift. He is a good running back. Yeah, I think he's fantastic. They just not utilized correctly, unfortunately. You got James Ball, not a member for 10 months of the camper tier. Thank you so much, man. I hope you're having a good day. Says, hey, Joey, what's going on, James? Kirk Johns, you said that the name because they said he smiled like the Kool-Aid guy. Is that why? Is that how we got that? Karen, I would say Kool-Aid is solidifies cornerback one, though I think Wiggins and Arnold are ahead of him because they are more athletic. Interesting. The Quincy Kool-Aid McKinstry. All right, James, have a good night, man. I say Kirk, his name is Kool-Aid McKinstry, but I call him Kool-Aid Ministry. I think Byard gets cut too, man. Like, people are like, how many people were like in my video about Byard getting cut and people were so pissed off? They're like, why would you cut Byard? Like, dude, maybe they don't like him. Maybe for this, he doesn't fit the scheme. Just because it's on paper doesn't mean they're going to fit what we're doing. Fangio 100%, okay? Fangio 100% has control of this defense. He's hiring his own coaches. I already know that. There's no doubt about it. Everything Fangio is doing right now is connected to Vic Fangio. Okay? Carl Scott connected to Vic Fangio. Okay? The defensive line coach we just hired connected to Vic Fangio. I mean, it's crazy, man. It is crazy. We got super chat from Chad Vicks. What's going on, man? Says Fangio has always had a stud at linebacker. I agree with you. I mean, they're gonna have to spend money at that position. I think it's starting to change now. Howie Roseman at that press conference was kind of like, yeah, you don't pay linebackers big money. Linebackers really nothing that you shake a stick at. You know what I mean? And he pretty much got kind of like, oh, you want to see? All right, well, we'll find out what happens. We'll see what happens. D-Mac, what's going on, dude? Welcome to the camper tier, man. We got a new member. Thank you so much, dude. Appreciate the support very much. By the way, if you become a member, we're going to be having draft highlight reactions that I don't show on my normal videos because of copyright and stuff like that. So if you want to become a member for like $2 during the draft, but a month before the draft, even now, become a member because you'll see all those extra videos that are not that I don't give to the, obviously to the regular subscribers because of just the copyright stuff that happens on them. So, the pinned comment above will show you that. So, Byard is washed. Kevin Byard was a weakness. I don't know. Didn't really. I wasn't he had one pick against KC and didn't really do much after that, to be honest. He really couldn't cover tight ends. Look, the scheme might have flawed his maybe how well he could do, but I wasn't really a big fan of his play. I gave it a few weeks, and then that was really it. He might say, I'm good with keeping Zach Cunningham. Everyone can kick rocks. Yeah, it's not enough, though. It's not enough. Zach Cunningham was good. He was the best out of a bad group. That's the truth. The best out of a bad group, and that was it. We got 345 in the chat. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like the video as well. Hit the like button like crazy. Thank you so much for joining the stream tonight, on the late night stream tonight, talking about all the Eagles coaching moves, and haven't even touched the roster yet. We're going to get there. I can't wait to see these press conferences from Kellen Moore and from Vic Fangio, and just to hear what they have to say. Hopefully we're not lied to like Sean decided, but we'll see what happens. We got a super chat from Slick. He's a slick man, everybody. What's going on, Slick? He said, what up, Joey? If we cut Byard and don't sign Winfield Jr. free agency, we're definitely getting a safety in the draft. Hopefully first, second round pick. Yeah, I think corner and safety is definitely going to be in the plans in the draft. There's no doubt about it. I don't think Byard stays. He's too much. There's way too much money in that cut. $14 million is a lot of money, dude. To keep him on the roster and lose $5 million because of that, I feel like you could do a lot better. I feel like you could do a lot better there. So we'll see. Fat Falk, what's going on, dude? He said we traumatized Niner fans. They have no closure. No, they're obsessive, man. Rel says Eagles should get Xavier McKinney. He's a former Bama DB, so it works with our DB coach. We can get him for free agency. Yeah, I just said that before. I think Xavier McKinney might be a good fit here because the coach that coached him up is here in the building now. So I think this DB coach is going to have a lot to say, and going to get a lot of he's going to help out in this draft entirely too. So if they sign a big safety in free agency, then they go after linebacker maybe in the draft. And maybe get a mid-tier contract in free agency for linebacker or something, and then get their actual guy in the draft. But if they sign I think they have to go the complete opposite. I think they have to sign someone big at linebacker. And yes, I don't know if they're going to be able to afford a couple guys. Too high contracts like that, I doubt it. But you never know with Howie Roseman what he does. So we'll see what happens, but should be interesting though. Ryan Romans, I think Mike Caldwell gets the linebacker coach. Yeah, I think he does too. Apparently he is in the lead. He is in the lead for it right now. Okay, so he's got a lot. He's got 16 years of experience with linebackers. 16 years. And did a really good job with Levante David and Devin White when he was there producing those two guys. Kirk says, need linebackers. Who are free agents? Well, I think Willie Gay from KC is a free agent, which that's a really good one. Obviously, Patrick Queen is a free agent. You have Andrew Van Ginkel from the Miami Dolphins. He's a big one. And he was with Fangio last year in Miami, so it might be a nice connection. And he's going to get paid big money too. So, those three are like my top right now when it comes to linebacker. I think the Eagles have really got to take advantage of this situation going forward at linebacker. So I'm pretty excited, dude. If they sign a linebacker to big money, I'll be in tears. I'll be in tears, dude. I'll be like, man, Howie Roseman's not afraid to change. Howie Roseman's not afraid to change his ways and change the philosophy. And what he's doing is for the team. He's not going to say, oh, this is my way and my way has worked. That's what I'm going to be really excited about. Richie MC with the super chat. Thank you so much, man. Says, controversial opinion, free to disputed it. Lurie hired Moore to get more splash plays so the Eagles will be on national TV. More profit over wins. Interesting. That would be kind of shitty, but at the same time, number one, I don't like primetime. I hated that we had this many primetime games. We had 2 1 o'clock games the whole entire year. Now, depending on what happens, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm into maybe 3 or 4, maybe 3 primetime games, but 6, 7 primetime games is way too much, man. And I guess for me, I just hate doing it because I hate being up too late. Because I'm up late doing videos and live streams and doing 2 streams and videos. And it's a lot of work. It's a late night. And I got work the next day, depending on when it is. Most of the time I have work the next day. My normal job the next day. So it's kind of crazy. But that would be kind of crazy. But I don't want to say it's gone that far. I doubt it. Well, Joe says, Jay Alexander from Green Bay or Johnson from Chicago, a good cornerback, and let young guys fight for 2 cornerback. Yeah, I honestly don't think they're going after any corners in free agency. I don't even care if they're cheap. I don't even care if I think they need a homegrown talent. They need to get somebody in the draft and be here for years to come. I think that's where they need to go for the future. I don't want to dip into free agency too much, and then you only have a certain amount of time with these guys. Like when you draft a homegrown talent, and I want to see the coaches produce, man. I don't want to take the shortcut route, and it's not a shortcut route, but I don't want to dip into free agency for cornerbacks. I'm just not interested. If they got rid of Slay as well, then I wouldn't mind having him, but I feel like Slay will be here, and we'll see. We'll see. Anything could happen though. Maurice Steele says, see, people don't understand we are not the Cowboys. We make changes. Yeah, I mean, the only change we haven't made was Nick being the head coach. I mean, other than that, everything has pretty much changed significantly. You know what I mean? As long as Nick is not going to put too much of his own power into this offense, which I hardly doubt that's going to happen now, because I think Kellen Moore is an up and coming offensive coordinator, and I think this is going to be the best roster he's ever coached. I mean, to have Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, and AJ Brown, I think he's wanted to coach here the last few years. Remember, in 21, before we hired Nick Sirianni, we had an interview with Kellen. Kellen Moore tried to get the head coaching job here. I think he's always had interest in coming here. Move the Thursday night games to Friday. That would make my week, dude. That would make my week. Andrew Dane says, why would people think Fangio wouldn't bring in some of his own staff? It was reported earlier that he would. They'll help teach the new scheme. Oh, of course, dude. Yeah, because a lot of people will think like that Fangio will get hired and then like the front office will hire everything for him, but that's not the case. I know that these coordinators are going to have a lot more power than we realize. Just how he sucks at drafting top tier talent. Can't trust. I think the last 3 drafts have been pretty damn good, to be honest with you. Why haven't we drafted top tier talent? I don't get it. Devontae Smith is a stud. Land Dickerson's a stud. I mean, seriously, like what? I think Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis hit a wall. The whole defensive line hit a wall, dude. Like, dipping in the free agency is very easy, and to spend all that money is very easy. No cornerbacks are shut down in the league. There's no such thing. You don't find those cornerbacks. There's no such thing as a shutdown. There's no, it's hit or miss sometimes. With this scheme that you have right now, yeah, you need a guy that's twitchy. You know what I mean? You need a guy that's twitchy and it's going to hit somebody in the mouth, and that's what we need. And to put that much money into a guy that's, I'm just not interested in it. I'm not interested in going to free agency and getting a guy like that. So, you know what I mean? Karen said the prime games were actual orange and shit this year. Let's see here. Richie says, who drafted the defensive end Marcus Smith, Howie or Chip Kelly? It might have been Howie. It might have been Howie. You're going to obviously I know a lot of people watch the playoff games, and there was I know a lot of people watched the playoff games and they were looking at all these players that the Eagles passed on. People were just having a fit over it. Dude, it wouldn't have mattered who we got in last year's draft, or if we had Brian Branch, or Kyle Hamilton. It wouldn't have mattered, because the scheme is just going to ruin players. It's even the trade deadline. People were just trade for these cornerbacks. You know what I mean? I don't get why people want to trade for these top tier players that weren't going to work in this scheme. You know. Maury says, when we play the Cowboys this season, Kellen Moore is going to show out with these plays. Trust me, I really believe that. It's going to be revenge season, dude, for him. I'm telling you. It's going to be revenge season. Players weren't in shape, and players probably didn't care at the end of the year. I'm sorry to say, but you know, that's when you don't make adjustments every week. How are the players supposed to feel? How are they supposed to respond in game? You know, it sucks, dude. Be in that position. Chip Snapper says, how's Dolores at the bar giving 2-for-1s tomorrow? So I said, Jake blocked me. Jake is showing up on Joey's screen, but not mine. Yeah, probably. Chip says, Howie drafted Marcus Smith and apologized later. That's what I thought happened. Mike Goldberg says, Kellen had bad luck in wide receiver in LA. They lost Mike Williams early. Quentin Johnson could be a first-round bust. Eichler is not a good runner. Oh, yeah, and all they had was Keenan Allen. I mean, that was it. How old is Keenan Allen? He's like over 30 now, isn't he? He's still a great player, but it's not a young talent over there. And Brandon Staley, one of the worst head coaches in the league, on top of our head coach. So Shane Dial says, with us having OG Fangio and his own staff, it'll be interesting to see how they attack the draft to build his defense. Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, like, offensively, there's really not much they have to do. They'll get like a backup right tackle. You know, they need to get another trench guy, no doubt. They need a running back. I mean, go in the 5th and 6th rounds. Go get a running back that will be good in the rotation. I don't want to bring Boston Scott back and repeat the same shit over and over again. They need some new blood from this draft. They need some new guys. You know. Reggie says, are the Chargers and Justin Herbert better without Kellen Moore? It depends if they draft better and get healthy. You know, like, that's what it comes down to. It comes down to how much, you know, Brand Staley was involved, you know, when he was involved at the time, you know, last season, you know, but we'll see what happens, you know. I don't think Kellen Moore is a bad offensive coordinator. It's a 3-4 scheme. So you need agile fucking linebackers that can cover and hit the gaps and be fucking violent. And that's what they need. You need linebackers and you need edge guys that they can move around. That's what they need. The opponents have been revealed. The schedule won't come out until... When does the schedule come out? March? I forgot when the schedule comes out. I think it is March. I could be wrong though. And Andrew Nathan says Fangio will have more control because his defense. Don't get it twisted. Nick and Fangio have a good relationship. It was reported on 22 that Nick confided in him. Fangio was in the building. Yeah, he was a consultant here in 21, and he left a couple weeks before the Eagles went to the Super Bowl because Fangio knew that, or had a feeling that, Jonathan Gannon was going to stay in Philadelphia. And I think we all kind of figured before the Super Bowl he was going to stay in Philadelphia. And I think Gannon said it himself. Obviously, that was a bunch of bullshit. But Fangio had to move. I mean, if the Eagles said, hey, we're not going to hire you as a DC, then he was looking for a job elsewhere. And that's pretty much what happened, man. Richie says, Joey, Nick Sirianni, Kellen Moore, or Jim Harbaugh? Oh, you're telling me just in general? I don't know. I have to see what it looks like with Nick Sirianni and Kellen Moore. I don't know. I can't tell you that answer because I haven't seen both of them yet. And Jim Harbaugh, who knows what's going to happen? Who knows what's going to happen? D-Money says 3-4. It means Jordan Davis will play. Yeah, so Jordan Davis will be in the nose full time. He'll be in the nose full time, which he'll probably play better at, to be honest with you. You'll have Milton besides him, and I don't know, depending if they bring Brandon Graham back, depending if they bring Brandon Graham back, depending if they bring Fletcher Cox back, we'll see what happens. It's got to be cheap deals, obviously. D-Max says Patrick Queen, please, he's a stud. D, I know, dude. Patrick Queen would be the top guy I would get, but for the scheme, Andrew Van Ginkel would be a good player. Willie Gay would be a great player. Mayor says, I want to draft a wide receiver 3 in the later rounds. I would probably do the same thing, to be honest with you. I'm not really into going in the free agency for a wide receiver 3 if there's any available. I don't know who's going to be available. But I think they have to get a top dude. Like, they can get a top guy as a wide receiver 3 in the later rounds. I don't think wide receiver 3 is the hardest thing to get. I don't think it's like a must need right now that they have to do something now. I think it's something they definitely need because they have nobody there. They better not. I don't think Zacchaeus. I wouldn't even bring Zacchaeus back. I wouldn't even, and definitely not Quez Watkins. That man's got to walk. So, oh, it is May. Okay, I forget every year when it comes out. See. James said, would have to trade for him, but we have shitload of late round picks. Yeah, I mean, the Eagles have four fifths and I think a 7th. I don't think they have a 6th rounder. The 6th rounder is gone because of the Bayard trade, I think. One says, yeah, I can't think of his name, but the kid is loaded for running back from Washington. Yeah, I don't know. More say, I know we both wanted DeAndre Swift, but if we can't get him, do you think we no. You think Swift is going to be a lot cheaper than Derrick Henry's going to want a lot of money on a short-term deal. He wants to go to a contender, and he wants to, not saying that we can't be contenders, but he's going to want to go to a team that he's going to want some money, dude. I mean, his numbers are ridiculous. So, we'll see. All right. Well, we're getting that guy out of here, so. He gone. No spamming, dude. No spamming. And it's not even you're spamming like bullshit. Cowboy fans have no lives. James said, if that's it, worth the shot, me seeing his overall production. Vic says, my vote is on Devin White. He's still young, can match it with Dean. Well, the thing is, like, what's going on with Devin White? Why was he benched throughout the season with the Bucks, too? Like, that's the only thing I have an issue with. Devin White's still young, but why was he benched? Why has he declined so much? Bridgie says, Eagles signing J.K. Dobbins on a prove-it deal. Yeah, I mean, the guy is injury prone right now. I mean, he's coming off, an ACL? So, I mean, yeah, it would have to be if that was the case. I wouldn't even touch it, to be honest with you. I wouldn't even touch J.K. Dobbins. But Billy D says, Eagles had a very good linebacker group in 17. Don't need a big name, just actual linebackers. Well, it's not like, what do you mean by big name, though? You mean a big name as in like a guy that I think you need a skill set. You can't put in anybody. That's what the Eagles did this year. So I don't think that makes any sense. You want a very good linebacker like they had in 17, but it doesn't happen that way. The Eagles got to go young at that position. Like, it's either you have one or the other. You can't have both. Would you like Chad Johnson as our wide receiver coach? Maybe he could teach AJ and Smitty how to hit Ray Lewis. Here's a funny thing, though. I think Aaron Moorhead's gone. I think Aaron Moorhead is actually going to be, gone. There's been a lot of rumors of him moving. I think they're moving everybody, dude. I think they're moving everybody. I think that's what's going on, dude. Just saying. We got a super chat from Slick. Thank you so much, man. He says, if we got a 3-4 defense now, is Sweat going to be outside linebacker? Yeah, I mean, that's a whole nother thing. I mean, can he play that position? I don't know if he's that agile at all. So it really depends, man. It really depends. I don't know what they're going to do. I'm telling you, if Fangio can't find guys that fit, if he looks at this roster and says, man, a lot of these guys don't fit the scheme that I'm doing, they might clean up a little bit. I don't know how much you can get for Josh Sweat. I think they restructured him a year or two ago. I don't know what that looks like. I'd have to look at the site again. See here. Debunk Live Game Stream says, forget containing. We have to get back to the basics as an offensive schemes and the standards expectations of the NFL scheme week to week. Yeah, they have to look like they're playing. They have to look like a normal football team before anything. I think that's like the main thing. But that's why you have an off season. That's why you have, you have OTAs, you have rookie minicamp, you have training camp. You have these joint practices, you have these preseason games, so we'll see what happens, See here. Lay says Josh Sweat has to step up this season, or I say cut him. Yeah, I mean, he didn't really produce at the end of the year. He had, before, I think he had a sack in the Giants game, the last game of the season, and he didn't have a sack, I think, week 9. I think he's got a lot of pressures this year. But like I said, dude, I can't put too much into this defensive line, when it comes to a group, because what are they supposed to do when your corners are lined up that far away and you can't hit home and you're not using your linebackers? You're not even blitzing. Period. You don't even know how to blitz. They don't know how to be physical. They don't even know how to do that. It's been. I can't put too much into it. How do these defensive linemen even have a chance at this point when 5 to 8 yards off the line, these wide receivers and tight ends are free? I don't get how you even have a chance. Rollins says, I can't wait to see what Jalen Carter will turn into. You think Jalen will be a better DT than Jordan? Well, he's a lot different because he's more of a pass rusher than having a run stuff ability. But I think Jalen Carter is a bit of both, but I feel like, that Jalen Carter is a bit of both, but I feel like he should have a monster season next year, no doubt. And you use the correct way, and then you're not even running stunts, dude. You're not even you're just playing the basic, line them up and just shoot the gap. It doesn't. You gotta start scheming, dude, and that's what Vic Fangio is gonna do with this defensive line. They have to get more violent, and they have to. They got to do better. Yeah, see, Devin White is a great athlete, but I wouldn't sign because he's average in coverage. Yeah, it might be the case too. Eagles should draft Troy Franklin to pair with Smith and AJ. We'll see. I don't know what their plan is to do at wide receiver 3, but I think the draft would be perfect. Yeah, Levante David, I didn't realize how old he was either. I checked his age, I think last week. And I was like, damn, Levante David is could still run around, man. Still run around. But, because of his age, it's hard to sign a guy like that. I wouldn't sign a guy like that. Even if he played that well, I wouldn't sign a guy like that. So. Andrew Nathan says, running back signing Zach Moss, Antonio Gibson, Devin Singletary, A.J. Dillon, Dobbins, base salary, prove it. And I'll prefer to re-sign Swift. Yeah. I like Antonio Gibson a lot. I think he would fit in with our backfield and the passing game. Devin Singletary, AJ Dillon is more of a bruiser guy you could bring in for red zone or something, and Dobbins would be a prove it type deal. Sure. Sure. Makes sense. Maddox and Byard, yeah, both of them are cut. You save $7.1 million with a post-June cut with Avonte Maddox. They got to cut him, no doubt. Maddox got to go. You have Isaiah Rodgers coming into the building next year. Isaiah Rodgers is coming right in next year as a nickel. And I'm excited. He's twitchy. He runs like a 4.2. He's quick, man. Covers the field really well, covers an area really well, and he hits hard. And, he was suspended off the gambling stuff last year. So it's going to be really interesting. Nick says, what do you think of signing Swift and Eckler since Eckler since Moore has ties with him in LA since 1 and 2 Thunder Lightning punched me? I don't know. The problem with Eckler is that that guy always wants to get paid. He thinks all the running backs are complaining right now. They're not getting paid, and I don't know if they would bring him. I don't think the Eagles really need him. I think they keep Gainwell, which they're going to do. They re-sign Swift and they draft another back. Maybe they draft a bruiser in the draft. I don't know. I'm actually excited to see what Kellen Moore kind of wants in his backfield rotation, or maybe it'll be a 1-2 punch rather than 3-4 running backs, and not wasting somebody sitting there as a healthy talent. At least somebody's sitting there. And Rashad Penny, I mean, I wouldn't say a talent, but Jesus Christ, they could have used him for red zone. They could have done a lot more with him. I hate when they trade for guys and sign guys in free agency and they're healthy scratches for multiple weeks. I can't. Albert O, where's our tight end 2? Because I don't know who our tight end 2 is. Jack Stahl's a free agent right now, unfortunately. And I think they need him somewhat because he's a good blocker, does the dirty work pretty well. What other tight ends did we really utilize that much? Jack Stahl had five catches for 30-something yards. It wasn't much. And Calcaterra is injury prone, still on the roster. I think Calcaterra's got to go. So we'll see. Reese said, what to watch at the Super Bowl? Any great horror movies will be watching The Sopranos, but we'll watch Usher's halftime act. I would go on Amazon and just watch a lot of I like a lot of old school horrors back in the 80s, man. I watch a lot of old stuff too. Yeah. Gay is only 26. He's going to be going to his prime really soon. That is prime year. He's going into his prime years now, so. Live says, I think we have to step back, cut expectations on individuals regarding our defense. We could have a whole no-namers, but play together and swarm the football and play like studs together. I think that's an important thing, too. I'm not really big into, I want to get big names, but, realistic big names for certain positions that we really need, whether it's signing a big money safety, a big money linebacker. I think they have to sign somebody to big money. Vic Fangio is going to help that. These positional coaches that have coached certain players are going to help that. The scheme that Vic Fangio and how widely respected he is around the league is going to help that 100%. So, yeah, to get a bunch of homegrown talents from the draft starting on the field and working together and kind of building something, yeah, that would be awesome too. You know what I mean? Nick said, I just want a big back to go with Swift. Henry seems so fetched, but what's the dream scenario? That really depends on what Kellen Moore wants. Kellen Moore doesn't really use bruiser type backs. You take Ezekiel Elliott, but he was more than that with a good offensive line in front of him. But Skeleton says, I never heard anything about dropping Trash Barry. D said, I don't get Rashad Penny signing. Dude never played. What a waste. I know. I don't get it. I would have rather played at this point. If they weren't going to play Rashad Penny, I would have rather played what's his face. I forgot his name because he hasn't been here in so friggin' long. Watch the offense scheme sucks all around, not creative at all. Nick with the high school offense. Well, dude, it's a new year. And they hired a new coordinator. Yeah, it sucked last year, but they hired a new coordinator, so you're automatically going to think it sucks now. Browns, I really wonder what the hell happened with Penny. Why did we even use him with Swift? It just baffles me. I don't know. I really don't know. Pope says everybody play Power and skip the Super Bowl together. I'll just have to be creative in this new. Oh yeah, that's what they're gonna do, man. They brought an offensive coordinator that's going to really scheme up. What Kellen Moore has done is take the quarterback, every strand of the quarterback, and unleashed huge potential within that position. And utilizing wide receivers and scheming and routes and crossers and hot. Throwing quick passes at the line, running from under center, passing from under center. RPOs are going to be a big thing. Jalen Hurts is going to be 100% healthy. He's going to get his speed back. I'm telling you, man. Kellen Moore's got something. Kellen Moore, telling you, if he does well, he could be a head coach somewhere. And with this roster, it will get him a head coaching job. As much as I don't want to lose him now because this is what happens every damn time. That's why I wanted a head coach that calls plays, Would you pay Queen 4 years, $60 million, or White 4 years, $80 million? No, I paid Patrick Queen that money before Devin White. Devin White has barely even started games this year, Oh, Myers says, who are your top free agents that you want? Oh, man. Patrick Queen would be one. Antoine Whitfield would be another one. I'd probably go with that edge. Probably go with Brian Burns. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know who else I would go. I mean, yeah, of course I would want Surtain, but I mean, I just don't think it's realistic. Surtain would be on my list, but I don't. I mean, you know what I mean? I just don't think it's realistic at all. But I don't think he's a free agent. Is he a free agent or no? He's got one more year left. I keep forgetting what happened with that. Chopso says, is Kellen Moore run game solid? I don't know too much about Kellen Moore. What can he do to our offense? Well, he will scheme up your offense. He will put your wide receivers and tight ends on different routes. He likes being aggressive with the ball downfield. He works the middle of the field like crazy. Check what he's done with CeeDee Lamb. Check what he's done with even Keenan Allen, dude. I mean, it's been amazing in the passing game. The only problem I have is that he doesn't run the ball enough. He likes using his running backs in the passing game a lot, but he's not bad in red zone. He's very creative in red zone. I mean, he's done a pretty good job. I mean, statistically, he's done well. Has he won a Super Bowl or an NFC Championship game, an AFC Championship game, or an NFC Championship game, I should say, with his offenses? No, but it really depends on where he is, what players are available, what they draft. I mean, you're going to get Kellen Moore is brought in to get the most out of his quarterback in Jalen Hurts. You're going to get the most out of him, and you're going to get the most out of your wide receivers. There's no doubt about it. So it's pre-snap motion. He's one of the top 10. He was top 10 last year in pre-snap motion. The Eagles were dead last in pre-snap. I mean, it's going to change, and it might change for the better. So I'm pretty pumped over it. Pretty pumped, dude. Philly D says Swift would be great for KM. Not using Swift in the pass game was dumb. Yeah, they were trying to early in the season, and then they kind of got away from it. Like they tried to, it just didn't happen. I have a feeling Kellen is getting his head coach tryout this year. Yeah, I mean he'll be here for 2 years. I mean at the end of the day, he'll be here for 2 years. You can block Kellen Moore after 1 year to get another job. So when coordinators are there for somewhere for 2 years, then they can't block them anymore. So you're technically going to have Kellen Moore for 2 years if it pans out. Next, I'm rooting for the Niners just because that's my dad's team. Other than that, fuck the Super Bowl, dude. We need to use no-name players to progress them into elite player. Oh yeah, you're talking. You're talking about homegrown talents that get drafted here and actually let the coaches actually produce these guys. Yeah, that's what I want. You can't just go into free agency and get this one and that one and this one. I feel like that's like what everyone just makes videos on or people just talk about constantly. Like I want to go into the draft and like get some raw, really good prospects. So. We need to pay big money somewhere. It's going to happen. So we'll see, Blake says Howie signs Pollard instead of Swift. That would be really interesting. I think Pollard's okay. Like, I don't think he's bad at all. I think when used the right way, I think he's great. I don't think the injury really did much to him from a couple years ago, but we'll see. Karen said Rashad Penny got the easiest $1 million ever. That is true. Jay said, I'm not exactly confident they bring Fletch back for a 3-4 scheme, electing to rather save the huge cap hit and get younger in his place. Oh, yeah. I mean, I have no issue. Now, Fletch played really well. I thought he played very, very well in the rotation. He was probably one of our uplifting players, one of our best players on the defense last year. You know what I mean? I thought he played really well. And, if they don't bring him back, I think Brandon Graham will come back. But it's hard for me because if he doesn't fit the scheme, then I don't know if I don't want them to bring him back just because out of emotion, Aaron says you could draft a big back, Braylon Allen, Dylan Johnson, or Audric Estime. I would draft Ray Davis from Kentucky. Interesting. Let's see. D says Penny sucks and horrible at blocking. That's why he never played. I don't get why people don't get that. Well, DeAndre Swift is bad at blocking too, and he still played. I mean, you know what I mean? But I know it's important, but the talent is just there with Swift. I mean, you're not going to find a guy like that within his first year. You know, it's 25 years old. Swift is. You know, it's hard to see what happens. Russell Barkley probably want too much money. Yeah, I'm not into getting Saquon Barkley at all. Eric says Cal Katera has to go. Gainwell, Maddox, and Scott Watkins. Well, Scott's a free agent. Watkins is a free agent, so it doesn't matter. They don't have to. They're going to be free agents, obviously. But they definitely have to go, no doubt. Don Joseph, I think Kellen will make Hurts better, no doubt. He will. He will 100% will. And then it's really up to Jalen Hurts at the end of the day. I think I think he's got to go back to being a dual threat. I'm not saying he can't be in the pocket, but he's got to go back to being a dual threat, which we missed this past season with that knee injury and how they did way too many QB draws. Like, they did way too much of it. He got hit too much early in the season. Fortunate. Next, I remember boys Kellen Moore. That boy was a problem. Not the most athletic, but smart as shit. 50-3 college record. Honestly, I don't think Barkley can get the money he wants. I think it's a possibility. He wanted more than 13 million a year, 14. I don't know what it was. I think he wanted more than 12 a year. He ain't getting that shit. I don't know who he thinks he is, honestly. It would be interesting to see what he does behind the Eagles offensive line, because I think he would thrive. I mean, even when he got drafted top 10 with the Giants, dude, I already knew. That's why when you're a top 10 team, most likely you're a team that needs a lot of pieces. And most of the time, when you're top 10, you have a really bad offensive line. Most of the time. And when you draft a running back, it's literally going half-ass backwards when you make that move. You know what I mean? The Falcons draft Bijan Robinson. Great talent. I already knew he was going to be a great talent. He was third on my board. But you don't have the assets, didn't have the right coach to use him. And then he was just missed out of 3 to 4 games in the season. I don't know how many games he missed. They didn't even give him any snaps. The Falcons got that guy from the Rams. They like to run they're going to do a really good job. I think he might do a really good job over there with that roster. They still need a quarterback, but that's a whole nother problem that they have. No, he wants more than 10 million a year. He probably wants 12 to 14 or higher than that. The Giants offered him, I think, 12, and he declined it. So he goes, I don't hate the 49ers players. I hate their fan base. They do want, that's the only reason why I want them to lose. Just to waste the whole entire year of success. I like how they make this. They do this picture. I saw Emmanuel Acho is such a Purdy fan. It's really disgusting. It's Emmanuel Acho is one of those guys that's oh man, this guy had UCL surgery last year, and look what he's doing this year. It's but Jalen Hurts can have all these injuries. Jalen Hurts can go from a Cowboys game where he's getting off his fucking knees so bad and so much pain, throws a touchdown, wins the game. I mean, it's just crazy how much respect Purdy gets. Jalen Hurts has all these injuries, getting up, getting hit off the ground, and comebacks and has these comebacks, these second half comebacks, and does all these great things, and he's never praised for it. It's fucking disgusting. It's really disgusting, honestly. Logan says, I just watched your video. I'm excited to have Kellen Moore about the passing routes for Devonta and AJ. Yeah, I mean, look at the route combinations for there's an actual chart of what Devonta Smith and AJ Brown, the routes that they ran all year, and literally the middle of the field is empty. There's no fucking routes. There's none. Maybe one out of a couple games. Rel says, yeah, but who wants too much money? So we give him that. He won't be able to be really addressed in another position. I feel you don't want to pay. I'd rather pay Swift $5.2 million a year than pay someone fucking over $13-14 million. It's not happening. The running back position is not highly valued. It's not. We turned Wendell Smollett and Josh Adams and even some of these other guys into pretty good rotational backs over the years. You know what I mean? I'm rooting for the Chiefs because the 49ers are whiners. Running back Trey Benson, Florida State. I've heard his name. Non-performer says no QB has been through more coaches than Jalen in a short career. That's, dude. No respect though. No respect out of that though. It's fine. It is what it is, dude. I mean, that's what they're gonna say. That's how they're gonna feel. Then that's what it is. Simple as that. That's how it's gonna be. Then, you know, I can't respect dudes like that. I just can't. Sucks. But DC, I'm seeing both teams in the Super Bowl is because of the run game. D Space says, Joey, I bet Jason Kelce will end up being our O-line coach in 10 years. Yeah, maybe. I don't think he's retiring. I think he's going to be back. I think, in my own opinion, he's going to be back. Uriel, what's going on, man? Appreciate it so much, man. So in terms of running back, I think we should draft Bucky Irving out of Oregon. I think he would get in the 3rd round. Dude is explosive, very agile, hard runner, and home run hitter. Reminds me of Jahmyr Gibbs. Interesting. I think they should stay away from getting Boston Scott. If they don't sign Swift, then I don't know. Kellen Moore needs an actual running back. There's no fucking way Kent Gainwell's the lead back this year. There's just no way. There's no way. Jade Kelsey's going to remain with the Eagles in some way. Like he said, if Jeff ever goes, he will be the online coach. Right. Aaron says Benson has a side issue, runs hard at times. He wants to bounce it or cut it. Same here, bro. James says draft running back Blake Corum from Michigan. That man is a dog. Lay says it's that Ayuk for me, bro. He talks too much. Yeah, he had a video on Twitter today where he was laying in bed and they had Ayuk as like the second best player in the draft or something, or the second best player in the playoffs, and he's like, dude, are you fucking serious? You know, like seriously, dude, like he's watching himself on TV score a touchdown. He's like, I'm the second best player. Like, that's garbage. Like Ayuk had one of the most luckiest fucking catches. I mean, lucky ass catch. Sorry, but he did. I mean, look at what happens, man. Like, when you have a team like the Lions, never been in a playoff atmosphere, never, have gone through the playoffs in general, okay, since 91. A young team that's never been through it. And, Jameson Williams, dude, the guy was fucking dropping everything. He got lucky on one catch, and he was just dropping everything. Like crucial drops, 2 4th down fucking plays that were just, why not even take the points? Yeah, the Eagles would have lost the Super Bowl in 17 if they didn't get one of those 4th down conversions. There's no doubt. So, like they got, they got, Dan Campbell got cocky, dude. Got way too cocky. You go for it on 4th down 2 times, man, and that was it. You could score points on both of those drives, and you don't do that. Yeah, I think Ayuk is a great player, but I don't think he's anything special. Like versus Lions almost murdered the 49ers on live. Yeah, it was close. It was close, but it's just crazy. I was at the fucking movies when it happened. I said they were up like by double digits. I'm like, holy shit, this is great. And then all of a sudden they came back. It was tied up. I was like, the fuck happened? They went on 4th down twice. I mean, if you're up by that many points, you have to put points on you got to just take the points. Like, you can't. If it's a close game, go for it. And if you're going to go for it once. Perfectly fine. But you got to take points, dude. That was Reynolds' game changer for sure. I call it. They would still be up by 14 at the halftime. And I told you, Eagles fans, we should draft Ayuk. I watched a ton of Pac-12 football. Rip Pack, but now take it back. All those Niner players and fans are annoying. Gentleman Culture, what's going on, man? It says drafting Jordan Davis or Kyle Hamilton might come to haunt us. He's already a top 3 safety. Yeah, would he be a top 3 safety? The question I have for you, would he be a top 3 safety here? So you guys do this shit where you watch these playoff games, the Eagles aren't in it. Oh, we passed up on this and we passed up on this, and look what he turned into. Yeah, you think Kyle Hamilton would have played well here? That's what I'm saying. That's the whole point, is I'm telling you, like, just because you draft a player, that's what I'm saying. How many players have left the Eagles and played well elsewhere? I mean, Nelson Aguilar started with the fucking Ravens. Look at, I'm not saying I would have kept him, but just in general, Ronald Darby's a starting cornerback over there. You know what I mean? Like it's just, that's what happens, dude. Like, it's just, the shit just happens. I love you guys, but I can't stand when some of you guys do this shit every time the Eagles aren't in the playoffs or something, which is very rare that we're not in the playoffs. But when we're not in the playoffs, well, we were in the playoffs. I keep forgetting we actually had a playoff game. Woo! Oh my God, I totally fucking forgot. Wow. Because I mean, that's crazy. It's kind of amazing how, like, oh, we passed the ball. Oh, Brian Branch. Oh, Kyle Hamilton. It's just like, dude, like, our scheme sucks. Like, you think that these players would have seriously, you think DK Metcalf or Justin Jefferson even came to the Philadelphia Eagles and would have thrived in the fucking scheme that we had? No. On paper is on paper. How you coach is how you coach. You know, it is what it is, man. I think Jordan Davis is going to have a big year this year. I do. And his natural position at nose tackle, I think he's going to be a fucking monster. I really do. Andrew says Jordan Davis is about to have a career year. Davis is a nose tackle, not a DT. A 2-down, a nose tackle, and a 3rd down short yardage DT. Book it. 1-on-1 with a center and a 3-4. He's going to have his best year. Fucking believe it, dude. It's like, boys, the Eagles need a cornerback, linebacker, and wide receiver in the draft. Rel says Ayler dropped a lot of balls last game. Oh, Lamar Jackson was fucking horrible, dude. Lamar Jackson's fucking horrible. He was horrible. He was getting into his own head. He was like having these meltdowns, these mini meltdowns. I mean, he was overthrowing every fucking thing. Everything. Yes, Jefferson would. Not at that time he wouldn't have. At that time he wouldn't have. Maybe a few years down the line he would have. I mean, Devontae Smith was drafted and they didn't even fucking use him as a wide receiver 1. They never treated him as the number 1 guy. They treated Quez Watkins as the number 1 guy in 2021, if you remember. Blame Nick Sirianni play calling, not the players. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's only so much you could put on players, but you're seeing the same fucking product every week. 8 to 10 plays in a fucking play sheet. How do we not get Stroud and put him in the scheme? Wait, that was the playoffs. Admiral said trade Jalen Hurts for first pick. Trade Jalen Hurts for a 1st-round pick and get Caleb. Jalen Hurts same as Carson. Well, if you think that Jalen Hurts is so bad, why would you trade him for a 1st-round pick? If you think he's god awful, why would you trade him for a 1st-round pick? You must think he's got some value. Why does Hurts have value then? If you think he's that bad, why trade him for why do you demand a 1st-round pick for Jalen Hurts? Because he's that bad, that's why you demand a 1st-round pick. Sure. Lamar Jackson better than Hurts? Yeah, right. No. We have seen Jalen Hurts in crunch moments. Not even fucking close. Not even fucking close. Yeah, Zay Flowers, that's another idiot. He's another idiot. Idiot. The fucking a deep pass to the 10-yard line, pushes the guy on the ground and flexes over him and taunts him like stupid. There were some dumb penalties from the Ravens. Their defense played well the whole game, but offensively they just couldn't get out of their own way. They literally had things they could have controlled in that game and just didn't do it. And then he dives, and you got to be careful diving with the ball in your hands. He gets knocked out, and that killed them too. I mean, just an idiot, dude. That's an idiot. I'm shocked. Nobody grabbed him by his fucking chest. No one grabbed him by his pads and fucking threw him. I'm not even kidding. Dude, how the fuck do you YouTubers know more football than these called coach experts? Oh, dude, I don't know nothing. I mean, I played the game. I played in college, but I don't say I know anything. I don't know anything. I mean, I'm just a fan at the end of the day. I'm not always right. I'm not always wrong, but I'm just a fan. Like, I don't claim to know everything. That's the number one thing on here is that I'm just a fan just like you guys, except I make videos. Like that's the fucking difference. Playboy says Devonta needs to get a long-term deal. It'll happen. I'm not worried. I'm not worried about that. James says Ladak Jack Scott. Oh yeah, that pass in the triple coverage, dude. Oh my, that tight end was like, I'm open with two guys on him, and then the third guy shows up. Oh my god, dude. It's so fucking funny though. Lamar's just like, fuck. You know, like, why is Mark Andrews all putting his hand up like he's that fucking open? Oh my god. Ladak Jack Scott. That's fucking hilarious. They had a picture of like Lamar Jackson in 4 pictures and he was turning into fucking Dak Prescott. It was the funniest shit. Oh man. Yeah, they were way undisciplined in that game, no doubt. They were fucking beyond. Joey Lamar is a top 10 chain. Teams are more afraid of Lamar, not Jalen. I'm just being honest. Well, I was afraid of Lamar going. If we were ever to face Lamar, if we were in the Super Bowl facing Lamar, that's the one team I didn't want to face. You know, but man, dude, his deep ball is fucking wild, dude. And he throws the ball so fucking weird. I don't know if it's just me. Like, he's got some weird mechanic. He throws it like he's using a fucking tennis racket. I'm not even kidding, dude. It's the weirdest shit. And you trade down from 22 to 27 to 32 and grab an extra top 100 pick, most likely a day 2. 3rd round pick in late day 3. We should end the draft with 11 picks minimum or 50% defensive players in early. Huh. That's interesting, man. Move down and get more picks for day 2? Maybe. If there's somebody there, I mean, look, if they think someone's going to be there by moving down a few spots, that's a lot to move down from 22 to 27 to 32. That's pretty crazy, man. So you need an instant starter, man. Your defense is, I mean, depending what the team looks like, the defense looks like by the draft, it might be a couple pieces you need. It might be one. It might be, who knows? You know what I mean? We'll see. We got 330 in the chat. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you are new, we cover the Eagles every single day. Videos every single day. Live streams Mondays, Fridays. Shakedowns on Saturdays. And we're going to be having a lot of content out. Make sure you like the stream up as much as possible. It does help out the channel out a lot. Appreciate everybody. There's 113 likes. We got to get this up to 200 likes. Come on now. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Appreciate it so much. Check out the pinned comment for memberships, $2. So it's really all for extra content for the draft. We do draft highlight reactions, go over highlight film and stuff like that. So we go over a lot of that stuff. So there'll be extra videos for members only when it comes to highlight reactions and video with it because of copyright and stuff like that. So make sure you check the pinned comment as well for all that stuff. Eric says Jordan Davis is coming in sharp, and we come in with a bigger offensive playbook than the high school playbook we had with Johnson. That smile on his face, maybe you want to punch the TV. Yeah. I believe you, man. The sidearm. I mean, yeah, it just looks weird. It just looks weird. I would love to go get a wide receiver like Zay Flowers. Yeah. I like those. I like those speedy guys, man. Like I want a guy in the slot like that. Like we haven't upgraded that position. They really have to upgrade that position. I don't want just a veteran type wide receiver 3 that's going to get a little, that barely gets attention because he's not fantastic. But I want to get someone that's going to be kind of nuts at that position. So we'll see. So you don't care who we draft, Joey? I was asking you. Oh, I thought you were just telling me. No. It really depends what we do in free agency. It really depends. Like I don't know. Like it could be corner, it could be safety, it could be I don't know. Like I feel like they're definitely gonna go after offensive line. I mean, they could go after edge rusher, safety, linebacker. I mean, it really depends. Like what they do in free agency is going to result in what I think they're gonna do in the draft. If you see an empty spot, I think we'll find out a lot better during that time. So we'll see. See, what do you think about spending a second on Brock Bowers? He's really good. I mean, if you're willing to give up a second and you're able to cover every other position that you can cover between free agency and the draft, then you could go for it. But we'll see. Tracy Rocker's fired, dude. He's done. So. Someone had Brock going 5. Maybe. Calvin Ridley free agent? I think I'm not sure, actually. No, I don't think so. He's on a long-term deal now, isn't he? Was it a 1 year or was it more than that? Probably shop AJ for some picks. Can't pay $200 million. Oh, dude, no. Dude. He's not 100. I mean, look, his contract goes up to 100 million, but the Eagles aren't paying him 100 million. Like, you could have Devontae Smith here. The Eagles could pick up Devontae Smith's 5th-year option, which they'll probably do. And then what they'll do is they'll probably start. They just gotta pick up his 5th-year option so it's picked up. This way, at least you know they're gonna be working on a long-term extension. Okay, the Eagles have to draft well for them to spend less money. The more you hit on draft picks, the more cap you could save. That's the whole point of it. So when you go into free agency, get this player, get that player. It's not great to do. It's not great to do all that. Spending like these teams, like the Titans, like these teams that have $70-something million in cap space, they got to be careful because they're just going to throw money. The Jets have did it. It was a big fail. You throw money all over the place, it's not going to be good. Can't throw money all over the place and be stupid about it, because when you pay, free agency is all about overpaying somebody. Everybody gets overpaid. There's no fair deal. Everybody gets overpaid. So when you go into free agency and you have all this money and you start just fucking paying this one, paying that one, paying this one, you have a limited time to get it to have a championship with those players. You're not signing free agents, to see what they do down the road. You're trying to get instant production with those players that you think that the team is Super Bowl bound, or you need somebody for the future down the road. Some teams, have to dive into it because they just need people, and these players that sign to bad teams just want their money and and try to work hard. But John said that real defense needs to help. Devontae needs a contract. At the end of the day, if I was to pick between A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith being here long term, it would be Devontae Smith because he's a homegrown talent. What helps A.J. Brown being here, A.J. Brown's A.J. Brown's just hitting the higher point of his career now. You know what I mean? The 26, 27, wherever he is. I think he's like 26, something like that. He's just hitting not the closing end, but he's hitting the top end of his career right now. So you have A.J. Brown for what? Last year, what was it? 22, he was still on the last year of his rookie deal. They signed him to a 3 years. So the Eagles have him for what? 2 more seasons? This year and next year? Goodbye, Jones. Out of all the free agent running backs, your guy, D Swift, we put money in that position. I think they have to. You're not going to draft a running back high. You're going to have to pay somebody. And $5.2 million. I mean, I think Swift wants to come back. If there's one player I want to re-sign badly, I don't care about Zach Cunningham and Nicholas Morrow and some of these other guys. I can give a shit about any of them. When it comes down to running back, dude, I don't care about Zacchaeus. I don't care about Quez. I don't care about anybody else. We need a running back. And I want Swift. It's not like Swift is 28, 29, 30 years old. That'd be a different story. 25, dude. 25. In a Kellen Moore type system with him as a dual threat running back, used the right way for once. I mean, fuck it, dude. Why not? Calvin really is a free agent? That's interesting. I think Hollywood Brown's a free agent too. Hollywood Brown could be a good number 3 as well. If I'm going to give somebody the money and Sick Boy said it, sign Queen, draft Trotter, bring back Jordan Hicks, Doom linebacker solved. So you want Jordan Hicks is available too. Is he available too? And Jordan Hicks has played well. But if I'm going to if there's one player out there I want to give him as much money as we possibly can and throw him the fucking heavy bag, it's going to be Patrick Queen. It's going to be Patrick Queen. And you know what? It might be Andrew Van Ginkel from Miami as well. It might be one of those two. It might be one of those two. If I'm going to connect Vic Fangio to Andrew Van Ginkel, that would make a lot of sense. Patrick Queen had an interview the other day and did say, like, I would love to come back to Baltimore, but I'm going to weigh out my options and see what's good for me. You know, so he's going to want his bag, dude. I mean, Patrick Queen's going to want his bag. It's you know. Maverick says Howie kicked the can down the road. The window is closing. I don't think the window is closing at all. I don't know how is the window closing? You're looking at too many contracts and saying, oh my God, well, AJ Brown's only here for a couple. You know, give it time. See what happens. I wouldn't say it's closing that fast. Like, you're acting like the window is closing that fast right now. Yeah, this was a wasted year, no doubt. I mean, this was a fucking horrible year. I mean, this was a fool's gold type year. You know? Yeah, I'm not even getting into it, dude. We talked about it on the shakedown for like a fucking half hour, and I'm not even gonna get into it on the stream. It's really fucking stupid. I'm not getting into it. There's a Davis's best as a Pro Bowl player. At worst, he's 400 pounds. Will not get a second contract. Nah, he'll be fine. Howie is not paying big money for a linebacker. Why not? Why not? I'm telling you right now, dude, things are changing. Like, I'm telling you right now, things are changing. Things are changing. Bruce Swift is and a more offense would keep defense coordinators up at night. Yeah, dude. Like, because if you involve DeAndre Swift in the passing game with AJ Brown, Devonta, I mean, I'm telling you, like, it's one factor. And Jalen Hurts extending plays with his feet. Like, it's going to be fucking insane, dude. Because you know the route concepts are going to be really nice, dude. Really nice. Bro, so they offered CJ a contract. He played around. Then Philly paid Asbury. That was the rumor that they did. Yeah, they offered him like a 3-year, I think it was 22 million. But it was a fucked up contract. It wasn't a fair contract. It was like the first 2 years were like very low money. And then the last year he would get most of his money, which he would have never seen. So it was a backloaded contract. And then he goes to, I don't know. Chauncey's going to, I don't know if Chauncey's going to sign back with Detroit. It's going to be, I would feel like he is. I mean, he did some stupid shit during that game too. They were up like 20-7. And he's waving at the crowd goodbye. Like, you know, he needs to, like, chill out. Chris Bryant said, are things changing in reality or just on paper? I think things are really changing. From who they hired to the positional coaches that they've hired, and what Howie Roseman said at his press conference with Nick about him not, you know, paying linebackers, him not going out and getting better at linebacker, and he was kind of like disrespected at that. I think things are changing. You can't go into a Vic Fangio scheme now. After these last few seasons, you can't go into another season with linebackers that can't fucking cover, because it's already a failed season already. The middle's going to be wide open. Fangio's going to look at the roster and he's going to say, oh, I don't like fucking James Bradbury. We have to get rid of him. Howie's going to say, no problem, because they respect Vic Fangio and his decision-making. And trust me, if we're going to extend Bradbury on a 2-year deal, 2 years, spread out his dead cap, and then fucking cut his ass. So that's what they're going to do with James Bradbury. So, Did we pay Hargrave last time we had cap space? So you think we pay Burns or Queen? I think they're going to pay safety or linebacker. They're not paying a defensive end to big money, at least that big much of money. I think they can get a mid-tier defensive end that could pass rush really well, but I feel like they're going to pay a linebacker or a safety, and I really hope they pay a linebacker. Fuck drafting a linebacker. Pay a guy to big fucking money right now. A physical fucking specimen, Patrick Queen, that's going to punch you in the mouth. You punch Patrick Queen, he's going to punch you right back. That's the player that I want in this fucking scheme. No doubt. If it's Andrew Van Ginkel, great. He fits. He was just in Fangio's scheme. Why would if Andrew Van Ginkel's going to be like, okay, well, I was with Fangio, I played well with him, and if the Eagles are going to pay me whatever I want on this number that I want, then fuck it, I'm going to go to fucking Philadelphia and just fucking ball out. Why not? It's a win-win for getting Patrick Queen, and it's a win-win for getting Andrew Van Ginkel, dude. It's a win-win on both sides. Nonconformist says, thank you, Joey, for keeping it real on the CJ deal. First to keep it real. I appreciate it, man. I always doing it, man. Always keeping it the way it is. Russell Slay is one of the best zone corners, though. They might keep Slay. I'm not saying they're getting rid of Slay. I think as of right now, they're going to get rid of Bradbury. You draft your number one corner next to Slay. Slay teaches him. You're going to have a lot of competition at corner, too. You have Isaiah Simmons from that could be your next nickel guy. I think could be your next nickel guy and your kick returner. I think they have to involve, and this might sound stupid, but let me skip that real quick. We'll get back to that. But Keely Ringo, I mean, You're gonna have a lot of depth at that corner spot. Guys have had some starting experience last year in a really bad scheme. Eli Ricks flashed a lot, but needs another offseason. There is a lot of dudes, So we'll see. How can we pay Queen without paying Reddick? Leave that to Howie Roseman. It's not impossible. Hassan will get some extra money, but, is it going to strangle the team? I don't think so. But you can extend Hassan Reddick and save money. You can restructure his contract, extend him, save money, and give him what he wants. If you want to give him more guaranteed money up front, So there's a lot of different things they could do, Let's bring in Eddie Lacy. Dom says, which linebackers in the draft do you like? I like Cooper from Texas. That's the guy I've heard of so far. I mean, I haven't really went over, like I said, I haven't went over too much draft-wise. I'm just starting my draft stuff now behind the scenes. You know what I mean? So, we'll see what happens. Within the next few weeks, I'll be ready to go because free agency is coming up. And then I'll be doing streams every day in March for like 2-3 weeks. 3 weeks I'll be doing free agency streams every single day. Late mornings, by the way. Late mornings. We might have some streams at night too to talk about everything as well. You know what I mean? So there'll be a lot of stuff to do. March will be very busy. April will be very busy. So it'll be kind of nuts. Eagle Slayer says, if we throw the bag at Queen, does Reddick walk? No. Like I said, I think it'll work out. I don't know what Reddick wants. We'll see what happens. I don't know what Reddick is going to want, so I don't know. He could be a holdout. He might hold out. He's making. Look, let me tell you, Reddick's not getting paid that much. He took a discount when he came here, double-digit sacks within the last couple years. So we'll see. All right, Drew, have a good night, man. Ricks is way better on the outside corner. Yeah, I didn't like him at nickel at all. I didn't like him on the inside at all. He got cremated on the inside. I mean, especially in that Cowboys game when they put him on the inside. He got lit up by CeeDee Lamb. I mean, he had no chance. He had no chance on the inside. He's more of an outside. But Isaiah Rodgers, that guy is twitchy. He runs a 4.2. I mean, he's quick, man. And he covers an area. I mean, the 40 time doesn't mean much of anything, but I'm just saying he's fast. See, they're going to cut some guys, though. There's no doubt. They're cutting guys. Looks Jeremiah Trotter's the only linebacker we need in the draft. Cooper is better than Trotter. Trout Jr. in the draft. The only person I'm thinking about. Constance Niners going to get Niners gone, get their coaches plucked and players overpaid and end up like us next year. Yeah, well, they're over the cap right now. I mean, I looked at their cap space and they're over. Like, they got way too many. Oh, Chase Young is another guy I might be looking at on edge to see what he gets paid. Maybe Chase Young is like kind of still proving himself in the league. Chase Young on the Philadelphia Eagles you know what I mean? It could be another move for them. You know? They said we need some dogs like Fred Warner and Greenlaw behind the D line. I know, dude. Trust me. That's what I want badly. When you have linebackers that can attack, you see 5 or 6 jerseys hitting somebody. It's a great thing to see within a defense. I mean, I've watched Fangio even with Miami last year. I forgot what game it was. I remember they were backed up in the end zone. I think the other team was on like the 10-yard line. And it was a 3rd down play. And man, dude, like that shit would have been a touchdown if the Eagles, it was a quick pass up the middle and they made a stop. Guys know how to tackle. Guys know how to tackle, not even only tackle, but tackle aggressively as a team. And it looked really good, man. He's going to bring in his own dudes, man. This defense, this secondary right now, these linebackers right now, nah. It ain't going to cut it, dude. You might as well just hang up the fucking season. You're not going to last with these linebackers that you have. It's not going to happen. Not even close, bro. Is Reddick a free agent this year? I swear he has one more year. This year's his last year. Yeah. 125 says, Joey, who will the Eagles pick with this 22nd pick? I'm hoping, I don't know. If I feel like it'll be cornerback because they're not going to pay a cornerback in free agency. Kool-Aid McKinstry with the 22 pick. They might be. Niners paid Hargrave, they QB. Yeah, I mean, the only reason why they're getting away with what they're getting away with right now, signing all these fucking dudes right now, and they don't care if they're over the cap, is because Brock Purdy isn't getting paid. And let me tell you something, he's gonna get over a $200 million contract. It's gonna happen. He's got what, 2 more years left? He's got 2 more years left, right? Purdy, or no? Or it was got 1 year. He's got 2 years. He's got 2. He's already been in the league for 2 years, right? CT Philly fan said, I lost my mom a few days ago. These late night streams help take my mind off things. Appreciate your work. Much respect. Dude, I'm really sorry about your mom, man. Losing a parent, can't imagine that. But I hope, the Eagles and these streams can, keep you up and uplifted. So, I hope you do well and, just take it day by day, man, and just do your thing, Just try to keep yourself busy. Don't sit in a room all day, Put some prayer emojis up for CT Philly fan for his mom passing. We got to be there for a brother. So, make sure we're there for him, So, CT, I hope your mind is doing a little bit better and hopefully everything, hopefully these streams do help and hopefully the videos do help as well. So, put prayers up for CT. Appreciate it. Hope you enjoy the rest of your night, man. When a brother is down, you got to lift him back up. That's how we do it around here. No, Jordan Davis is not a bust. No, definitely not a bust. Yeah, he's got 2 more years. Okay, I figured. Let's see here. Billy John Wick, what's up, dude? Mouse has got your name because his mom says he has a smile like a Kool-Aid man. That's what everybody was saying. They only pay Ward in the secondary, that's why. Purdy is going to get paid to be a system QB. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting what happens. That's the only reason why we don't pay a quarter. But the thing is, like, you gotta have a good contract. Like this past year and next year, the cap hits for Jalen Hurts are $19 million combined. It's fucking nothing. Literally, Jalen's like last year is probably his highest cap number. It's like 30 million, but hopefully by that time he's extended. I think it's like 26, 27, I think. Or 27. I forgot what year it is. So we'll see what happens. Nonconformist says, we and good Eagles can rejuvenate themselves and somewhat change our identity, catch everyone off guard. Yeah, like that's like everyone's gonna think like nothing's gonna change over here. Like they can literally bust out in the 2024 season and fucking shock everybody, because I don't think any defenses were really afraid of our offense, and it pisses me off that they kept things the way they did. I figured after the Jets lost they would have changed things, but no, they went through their fucking grit. They went through the grind during their the hardest games they had to play, starting with Miami, then obviously, KC, Buffalo. They went through their little gauntlet and they came out with wins. Heart attacks, fucking heart attacks, but yeah, so the new D-line coach, he's the defensive line coach for Seattle. He was a part of Vic Fangio's he was the defensive line coach in when Vic Fangio was the defensive coordinator with the Bears, which they were very successful that year, those couple years. Yeah, he does really well. It's a good sign. It's a very good sign. Uriel says Saints are 80 million over the cap, so they're deep in the hole. Maybe Kamara becomes available. Think he would fit perfect to Kellen Moore's offense? I think he would. How old is Kamara anyway? I don't even know how old he is. I'm not sure. Asagathor says, Joey, my big hairy mother humping friend. Shout out from NZ, the land of nervous sheep. New Zealand? No shit, dude. That's awesome, man. Appreciate you coming in. Fat Fox says, Joey, a phrase that gets me through times is what doesn't kill me had better start running. What? That's funny. I've never heard that. It's fucking hilarious, though. What doesn't kill me had better start. That's great. That was the highlight of the night, right? Now it says if they win a Super Bowl, he will most likely be Super Bowl MVP. They're gonna have to pay this off season. Dude, yeah, I mean it's gonna be a big contract, and then they're gonna have to get rid of so many players. I don't even give a shit. Let me tell you something. Like them signing Javon Hargrave to like $21 million a year at 30 years old. I would have never done that. I don't even I guess if you just you're gonna go to the bowl. I'm sorry, but I would never. I don't even care if we were a defensive tackle away from doing great things. You don't pay a 30-year-old fucking $20 million a year, $21 million a year. It's fucking disgusting. Disgusting. Mr. Queso, I don't know why people are saying trade AJ. If it was a rebuild, I could get why, but now, no. If they, I'm not even gonna get into it. I told you guys I'm not getting into this AJ Brown bullshit. I'm just gonna skip it and act like we didn't even talk about it. Because it's a waste of time. Fucking waste, because he's gonna be here. We sovereign. Well, they sat out 6-7 players for that game. They overlooked the Jets. That's what they did. Yeah, I don't want him either. I'm not interested in him at all. Eagles need to stop trading away picks and start drafting better. It's catching up with us. I think it's fine. It's catching up with us. It's only catching up with us because they're not putting any money into fucking linebacker. They went to the season saying, oh, we have Nakobe Dean. He's our fucking savior of the linebacker core. They signed Nicholas Morrow, and then obviously Nakobe Dean got hurt, and they had to sign, they signed Miles Jack, and they brought fucking Zach Cunningham, and then Miles Jack retired. Then he came back to the Steelers for no fucking reason, and then they went after Rashad Evans, and then he didn't make the team. He went to the fucking Cowboys and dropped out of his practice squad contract. I mean, it's catching up to us for certain positions, but I don't think they're drafting bad at all. I just think the scheme is fucking up production. I mean, you can't let go of players. They go elsewhere and they're successful. I can't stand that. You let go of TJ Edwards, successful. I mean, you can't let that shit happen, dude. The scheme is it's a flawed scheme. It's flawing every position that we have. You know what I mean? That's what they did at linebacker. They went to this season saying we have Nakobe Dean and they didn't give a fuck about anything else. That's what they did. I 100% know that's what they did. And I don't think Dean was great, but you're hurt 3 times. You're on IR twice. I mean, IMZ says, you're doing some pretty long videos and kind of doesn't get boring. Not to mention, you can literally feel your emotion, and that makes watching your videos more enjoyable. I appreciate it. Yeah, the videos, I can't keep them short. I mean, I try to do videos like over 8 minutes. Like, that's what I try to do. I don't like videos that are too short unless it's like something stupid that I do. But most of these videos I do are like, I don't know, 11 to fucking 30 minutes. It just depends on how many things I'm talking about in one video. Sometimes one video could be 2 videos, but I usually just do one because I get everything out of the way. And it seems like people are watching a lot longer, which is great. It's great support, but not even that. But people are watching, and they're watching the whole thing and getting everything that I'm trying to get out there, so they don't miss anything. So I appreciate it, man. I'm always afraid to put out a long video. People are like, oh, another 20, 30-minute video. And, I get it, but that's just how I do things. Hargrave's going to be a slob year 3 of his contract. Would you rather draft a receiver late in the draft or sign 1 or 2? I don't know. Like I said, I need to see what they do in free agency. I don't know if they're going to go out and get a guy. I don't know if they're going to go out and get a wide receiver. I mean, I don't know who's available as a wide receiver 3. Hollywood Brown could be available as a wide receiver 3. Somebody mentioned another name earlier at wide receiver. I forgot who it was. Somebody mentioned somebody else. I forgot. Why is it my stream playing? I don't know what's going on. Weird. Hold on. My friend. Okay, I'm good. Let's see here. Brown says the long videos are the shit. I might have a longer one today. Who knows? It probably won't be as long. Today's video won't be as long, but it'll be long. It won't be a book. Slagathor says, yeah, mate, New Zealand. I'm a South Philly boy, but been down here for 13 years, living variously through you and 500 to get my fixes. I appreciate it, man. And I bet you he appreciates it. I know that he is not feeling good. I think he's got the flu. I think he got really sick. So prayers to Philly. I just talked to him today. Anthony says, how are you still up? How are you still up, dude? This is what I do. This is what I do every day. This is my life. The Philadelphia Eagles are my life, dude. I don't know if that's a blessing or a curse sometimes, but it's just there, So appreciate you coming in, Mr. Trapedo. I know Anthony personally in real life, so I used to work with him. So Goes says, resign Oz. He could be more effective in Moore's offense. Nah, I want to move on. I'm not even interested to bring him back at all. So, let's see. And he said, damn, Philly's sick again. Yeah, well, that's what happens when your family gets sick and you get sick. See, that's what happens. You know what I mean? That's what happens. Lex Lopez said there's incredible depth in this year's wide receiver class. There's a 6'7" guy from Florida that has insane potential. I got to check that out. EC wants the football. I want Troy Franklin so bad. He's going to be next year. Really sound like a Cowboys fan, always sick. Oh, God. It'll be like that. What happens? The curse. I guess it is a curse. Slick Boy says re-sign Swift, and that's it. Yeah, I'm hoping, bro. I'm hoping. The Eagles should have kept Hargrave. No, why? Because Jalen Carr didn't do shit this. Like, you guys need to chill out. Like, I don't. You think the Eagles are gonna pay a defensive tackle? You think they're gonna pay a defensive tackle $20 to $21 million a fucking year at 30 years old? No thanks. I didn't even care that he was walking. I knew that he was walking, and I didn't care. Oliva says, thanks, Joey. You're a dedicated Eagles fan. Appreciate it, man. How about Austin Eckler over Swift? No. Dude, you're downgrading at that point. And how old is Eckler anyway? He's got to be like 29-ish to fucking 30. He's got to be old as shit now. Isn't he? I could be wrong. Billy Johnson, I'd take Hollywood Brown as a 3. I think that would be good. Yeah. He says, appreciate the support. Times are rough right now, but time heals all wounds, as they say. It does. It lives within you for the rest of your life, but over time it will lessen. It just takes time. Everybody's different. Sometimes people just can't, some people can't deal with shit. So I get it. But hope you're having a good night though. That's all that matters. Keep yourself busy. Yeah, he's 30 fucking years old, dude. Why would the fuck? You're just going backwards at this point. No, dude. Brown says, I would love Elijah Moore as our number 3 wide receiver. He's on contract in Cleveland, so he would have to trade for him. But I'm just saying, we could find a number 3 in the draft. Yeah, I mean, look, there is options out there. He's cheaper and knows the scheme. Who? He's 28. Still, I'm not interested, dude. I'm still not interested. I need. He's not fast enough for me. He's not agile. He's not fast. He's not a dual threat. He's not enough. Yeah, Calvin Ridley was supposed to be here before AJ Brown. You remember, like Calvin Ridley got in trouble for the gambling stuff. The Eagles were going to trade for Calvin Ridley before they trade for AJ Brown. Thank God that didn't happen. Eckler. I always call him Eichler. I don't know why. It's just a goal line merchant. I just don't think I don't think he's bad, but I think we could do better than that. We're all a bunch of sickos. Alvin Kamara is 28. Is Yannick a free agent? Yannick again? I don't know. Yannick is going to be to his 4th or 5th team in a few years. The last few years. That's right. I hope the new DB coach we post to see how does this fucking job. I was sick of watching our secondary this year. We can still play, and we need to draft his eventual replacement early this year. Well, dude, I mean, the cornerback coach can only do so much, but since he's got so many Alabama connections, it could really harp us in on getting the top 2 talents over there. And other than that, I mean, you got good coaches all around. This is Vic Fangio's scheme, so the scheme is going to be better. It's going to be a lot better. Which I love you in Philly 500 long videos. Pause. As I appreciate it. And he definitely appreciates it too. Rel says, does anyone know if the brotherly shove is getting... No, it's not. I don't think it is. I don't think it is. There's already been rumors that I don't think they're taking it away. So Iron Force says, bro, we know how he got not going to pay Swift that money. Why not? Well, you don't know how much he's going to get paid. How do you know? Come on now. I don't get why it's impossible to pay. I mean, well, I don't get it. Like, you trade for Swift, I don't see why it would be a problem to pay him. Like, what's the issue? Like Swift isn't going to fucking get paid. Like Swift's not getting paid over $10 million. He won't even hit $10 million a year. Luckily, he didn't have that much of a good season. Still a good year, Pro Bowl year, no doubt. But, you know. Also, I'm not saying I hate Jalen Carter. I like him over Hargrave. Well, I mean, we should, yeah. But if he's not being used right and this defensive line is not running any stunts, linebackers are not playing downhill. I mean, it's hard when you're just lining up and just attacking. I feel like that's all they do. Jalen Carter is going to be a generational talent. I know he's going to be. You know, scheme's got to change though, or at least not the scheme, but the coach had to change. Swift or the draft? As a starter, it would be Swift, dude. You're not drafting a running back high. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, you don't like, we're not gonna pay Swift, and what are you gonna do then? You're gonna pay a fucking old ass running back? Like, no. No way. He's too much of a diva now. Who's a diva? Barkley, probably not. I mean, I don't know. For me, like, I don't think they would sign him. I'd be shocked if they did, but I don't think it's gonna. Incentive-based contract. Yeah, it should be. Josh Jacobs or Barkley. If Barkley could stay healthy, I mean, Josh Jacobs hasn't been the most healthy running back the last few years either. Josh Jacobs will have more yards, probably. I mean, I don't know. Who's got the better skill set? You know? Barkley would be great if he could stay healthy. You know? But his asking price, I think both of their asking prices are going to be too high. I think Jacobs is going to get too much money. I think Barkley's going to want too much, but is he going to get it? I don't know. Kellen Moore is going to ask for Pollard. Dude, I never thought of that, and that could be a possibility. That's actually pretty scary, honestly. I think, wow, I never even thought about that. Could be a possibility, maybe. Rigo says Bradbury, Maddox, Byard got to go. Yeah, it's 100%. I agree with that 100%. Rosie says Sweat is that bad having to be cut. I like Sweat too, but maybe, I mean, this is the problem now. The problem that we have now is we might have good players, but are they good enough to play for this scheme? You know what I mean? Billy John Wick says, what if we have the same running back room? Would you be happy? No. I mean, with Swift in there, yeah, I'd feel a lot better, but I don't want Boston Scott. I think he's just a waste of money. For $1 million for the year, it's a waste of money. I mean, who's getting kick returns at this point? Not much of anybody. Rocky wants 10 a year. We ain't paying that, especially when our defense needs a facelift. No, I'm not. I'll pay someone 5 or 6. I'm not paying somebody fucking 10 or over that. Billy says Chad Ochocinco really serious about being an Eagles wide receiver coach. A couple people said that in the chat. I don't know. Yeah, I mean Henry is, but you know I mean, come on now. He's going to be hitting 30 years old, or he is 30. I think he's 29, or he hit 30 already. Rounce, I would love Barkley on this team. He's the only back I would take over Swift. Yeah, I guess. Howard, what's his numbers in big games? I honestly don't know. Says, we need 2 safeties, 2 linebackers, at least 1 cornerback, an edge rusher. And you have to remember too, the Eagles don't have Sidney Brown either. So they don't have Sidney Brown. So Reed Blankenship's the only one at safety right now. Kevin Byard, but Kevin Byard's a cap casualty. You have to cut him. You got to cut him. I don't think Byard's gonna make us better, to be honest. We need youth. We need a lot more youth. We just need more youth. Lex Lopez, I think cutting Sweat will have us feeling worse than losing TJ. Yeah, I mean, I like I said, like I don't think the scheme fits Josh Sweat at all. Like I just don't think it fits him that well. That's just me, though. I don't think it fits him. I think he's a great player. I just don't think it fits him. Doesn't make him a bad player. It's just for what Fangio wants. Is he enough? Anthony Trapilo says, I'd bring back Sanders. No. No, that ship has fucking sailed. Ron says, Swift is special, man. It would be a mistake to let him walk, just like Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, a young talent player with a ton of upside. I don't want to make the same mistake twice. Yeah, I don't either. I feel like they have to re-sign him. And if they don't, I'm going to be pissed off. He signs with, like, the fucking Ravens or some shit. Or I don't know. Like, it would piss me off that they just let him walk out the door. Especially if that contract isn't that fucking expensive. Then I don't know. That's really going to suck. But we'll see. I mean, we'll find out when the time comes. But it's just a rotation, guys. Best years was when he had a heavy rotation. He's gotten better every year, but this scheme just sucks, dude. Bring back Swift, point blank, period. Yeah. I mean, offensively, I'm bringing back Swift before. Offensively, that move for Swift is like my number one move. Besides the defense. Like, offensively, if I'm to bring one guy back, it's Swift. Over anybody. Yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying. He's young. Like, you can't pass up on a player that's that fucking young. You can't. You know, like, you don't really see a lot of DeAndre Swift type running backs around the league. He's special. He stops on a dime, could turn direction at 100% speed. I mean, remember those couple red zone plays those last games where, like, he went to the right, he stopped, he fucking reset himself, went to the left. And, I mean, one-on-one in open field, he's making the first guy miss. I mean, he's just, man, he's good. So good. Yeah, Sanders is still on contract, but, dude, he was an injury-prone fucking bitch this past year. I mean, really fucking bad. Really bad. So. Agent Zero needs to come home. I agree. So we have 324 in the chat. Thank you guys for coming into the late night stream on Monday night, talking about everything Eagles. I mean, there's going to be a lot of stuff to talk about. I have another video for tomorrow. Obviously, we'll have more videos out. And yeah, be a lot of stuff going on, but let me know what you guys think. I mean, we've been talking about it, so if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. We cover the Eagles every single day. It's going to be a hectic, like, really busy off season. Next couple months are going to be crazy. This channel is going to be filled with content. Make sure you like the video as well. Try to get to 200 likes if we can. If not, don't worry about it. And definitely look into getting one of those memberships for the off season, especially for draft highlight reactions. We do the draft highlight reactions with a lot of players, from the draft, and we kind of go over tape and stuff like that. There's a lot of copyright stuff, so I don't really put it out for everybody else. Just remember, so hit the pinned comment above the live chat for as low as $2 to get some extra content, $2 a month just for some extra content this off season. So, but other than that, that's it. I mean, I don't know how long we've been going for. Probably a while. Probably 2 hours and 24 minutes. I said it was going to be a quick stream tonight, but it is what it is. This is what happens all the time. It happens all the time. So, other than that, that's pretty much it. We're just doing our thing. And you guys have a great day. Subscribe, like the video, and we'll see what happens, man, this week. We're gonna look at linebacker coach is probably one of the other linebacker coach and QB coach. See if they change anything else going forward. And you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys on the next one. What up, follow slide. Peace out, guys. Thank you guys so much. Peace out.